All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy KlintonCod right here at the Santiago Bernabéu Stadium. It's Real Madrid about to host Arsenal. Will there be a remontada? Find out on the Sporty Show. Everywhere.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Sporty Show. It is another big evening in the Champions League. Who will go through to join Barcelona and PSG in the semifinals? And will we see La Remontada? Well, we'll find out. I'm your host, Sara ahead of Real Madrid, Arsenal, and Inter and Bayern Munich. And I'm joined with some lovely people at the desk, the first being Shantelle.
Thanks for having me, Sara. I'm very excited for tonight. I'm hoping that Real Madrid can make history and we see that historical comeback because we know that 90 minutes at the Bernabeu is a very long time and crazy things happen at the Bernabeu. So will it be one of those nights? Let's see. And we have Alex, of course.
I'm excited for this one. It's going to be a tasty game.
Were you wearing this yesterday?
No.
I knew it.
I thought I'd leave it as a special just for Wednesday. Of course, this is the last semi-final or the last quarter-final night that we've got. And yeah, I want to use it on special occasions.
Really? I thought you were wearing it for good luck. I don't know.
No,
Real Madrid, no.
No.
Okay.
I'll wear it when I want.
Okay.
Yeah. Thought tonight was a special night.
The rules.
Yeah. I do what I want with my bow ties, and tonight I'm wearing this one.
All right. Well, we are also joined with Nua, who will be taking care of social media today. Hi, Nua.
Hi, Sarah. Hi, everyone. Yes, I will be taking care of social media today. So if you have a thought, if you have a wild prediction, just drop it in the comments and I'll be waiting and watching.
Yes, guys, make sure to send Nua your predictions on both these matches, Arsenal, Real Madrid, Inter, and Bayern, and she'll read those out to us. And now joining from the Santiago Bernabéu, it's KlintonCod. Hi, Clinton.
Yes, my people. What's up? What's going on? Is it a night for the remontada? Do I know? I know. But obviously, the truth is I'm hoping that we would see them kind of historical stuff from Real Madrid. Honestly, do I have extreme confidence in the Real Madrid of today? Maybe not. But I am praying, Sarah. Hopefully.
Clinton, where are you going with your backpack
Alex.
right
Hello,
now?
Shantelle. Well, I mean, the truth is, it was raining, you see, and I was just scared of dropping it somewhere. I had to just take it around with me because the juju for Real Madrid to do the remontada is in this bag, so it's got to be very safe.
This new word that you learned, and now you've aced saying it, remontada. Clinton, we saw earlier that the bus arrival of the Real Madrid team was causing chaos in the streets. Were you there for that?
Yeah, absolutely. I was watching everyone screaming and, you know, them, I don't know what they were throwing in the air, but it was one of them colorful smoke.
The flares, yeah.
And Sarah, obviously you are the English, or Alex, yeah, whatever it's called, I just call it smoke. The blue smoke. Everyone was screaming. This stadium is literally on fire. In as much as it's raining, it doesn't even feel like, they don't even care about the rain. These guys are all acting as if they pretty much know what the result of this game is going to be even before this starts. I'm going to be so gutted for them if they don't get the result that they would wish for.
I don't care about the rain because the Bernabéu is going to be closed this evening, Alex.
Yeah.
So no rain on the pitch for any fans or players. Alex, we were talking earlier, Real Madrid fans are obviously getting excited. They've been at the Bernabéu for hours now, but earlier today I saw some Arsenal fans in Plaza Mayor. They're definitely getting on. I think they've arrived over the last few days, and they're getting ready, I would say, as well. I'm expecting a lot of Arsenal fans to have traveled for this one. Whether or not they'll be in the Bernabéu, I think they want to be in the city as well.
Yeah, I think there'll be a few that have travelled without tickets.
Yep.
Would just be on the night, hoping to either get one or watching it in a bar nearby. And there's going to be, well, at least 5,000 of them in that top corner of the Bernabéu, and they're going to be singing all night long and around Madrid. And, well, I think if they win, they'll be still here tomorrow morning, I think, with a few...
We'll see them on our way back to the studio in the morning. All right, Clinton, let's go over the starting lineups here for Real Madrid and Arsenal.
Yeah, sorry, 1 second. I'm just going to find
take
this
your time. It's not like we're all waiting for you.
Yeah, okay. No. I mean, you got to wait, Sarah. This is a very important night, man. Now, for Real Madrid, we've got Courtois, as usual, starting in goal. I mean, I would not expect anything less than that. We've also got Lucas Vazquez, Asensio, Rudiger, and Alaba from the back. Now, I have a lot of questions, though. I mean, as usual, we don't have any option than to hope that Ancelotti pretty much knows what he's doing. We saw what happened to Arsenal last week. Did he know what he was doing? I don't know, but let's hope that this week is going to be different. Now, in the midfield for Real Madrid, we have Valverde, Tchouaméni, Bellingham. Now, that's a very good news for me to see Valverde coming forward, you know, in the position that we pretty much know that that's where he plays the best. In as much as we also know that he plays every single position, including the number one, that goalkeeping area. He's not just tried himself just yet. Now, the front three, nothing has changed. It's still the same. Rodrigo, Vini, and Mbappe. Now, I mean, Sarah, I don't know what your question is going to be for me first, but, you know, if you also ask me how confident am I about this Real Madrid starting lineup, of course, I am very confident. As usual, the one I'm always very scared about is that defense. Now, would I have loved to see Fran Garcia starting this one? Honestly, I would have loved to see that one. You know, I'm also seeing Lucas Vazquez. I don't know if this is the game that we would expect Lucas Vazquez to be starting. I understand he's pretty much an offensive type of player. But, you know, Arsenal, one thing I'm sure they're going to be doing today is they're going to be doing a lot of defending. Hang on, why am I answering questions I've not been asked? I'll put it to you back to Sarah. Thank you.
I was
That's what
just
you
gonna,
do, Clinton.
yeah, I was just going to let him keep going and see how long we can get him talking to himself for. No, but Clinton, you did kind of go back to what I was going to ask you about, and it was the Real Madrid defense. No changes for Carlo Ancelotti's side from last week at the Emirates. Now, Clinton, you pointed out Lucas Vazquez, but I think we also have to take a look at Alaba as well. Those two have been poor for Real Madrid over these past few games, and especially against Arsenal. Why do you think that Alaba is getting that start over, let's say, Fran Garcia? Obviously, Lucas Vazquez's position a little bit harder to fill, because if he were to stay on the bench here, it would be Valverde who would be slipping back into that position, and then you'd have someone else like a Modric coming into the middle. But obviously we spoke about how important Valverde is to this side and how much he can contribute up front going forward for them. So maybe that's why. But what do you think about that Alaba start over Fran Garcia?
Honestly, listen, Sarah, I'm so confused because, you know, we've seen Alaba. Alaba is not really the guy that we pretty much understand that he used to be before, especially since he's come back from injury. It feels like Alaba still needs time to sink into this Real Madrid team that he has missed, that he's not been playing with for a very long time. And in my opinion, football has changed. Like, there's so much that's been going on that I feel like somebody needs to update him on. You know, when you look at how speedy a lot of these players, and when you look at this, the front three of Arsenal, you know, these guys are pretty much very fast. When you look at Martinelli, you look at Saka, even this Mourinho, that who is meant to be a midfielder normally, we see how crazy he can be when it comes to, you know, striking and shooting and even scoring goals. His debut as a striker for Arsenal, he pretty much did score. Now, in my sincerity, I think maybe what Ancelotti is trying to do here is he's trying to believe that there's still something in Alaba that we might be seeing tonight. What is that stuff? Honestly, I don't know. But is it some kind of mental playground? I don't know, Sarah. It's very confusing. Would I have loved to see Fran Garcia starting on this one? Fact is, I trust Fran Garcia. That guy is very hardworking. He's very fast. He's strong. He can run to the offensive side. And before you know, he's running, he's tracking back. Like, in every sense, if there's anybody who should be starting this game, it should be Fran Garcia, honestly.
Alex, with Alaba now taking over that left-back position, that means he's going to be going up one-on-one against Bukayo Saka. And when I see this duel on the pitch, I have to favor Saka in this one. From just what I've seen from Alaba's return from injury, as well as we know how good of a player Saka was. Saka's first Champions League game was last week, and he was the most important player. I know what you can say about Declan Rice, but who won those two fouls for Arsenal? Both were from Bukayo Saka.
Yeah, I think I do agree with Clinton. I think I'd much rather see Fran Garcia at that left-back position. My only thinking as to why Ancelotti's gone for David Alaba is experience. He's not much. And Frank Garcia's still got experience in these big games, but perhaps that bit more of an experienced head in that back four. And you look at obviously Raul Asensio, who's one of the younger heads, but apart from that, Rudiger and Vasquez are really experienced. And that's the only reason why I could think that maybe he's gone for Alaba. I think, given how he performed in the first leg and how the ability or the football he's shown since he's come back, it doesn't look like he's still quite back to that level that we know he can play at. So it'll be an interesting battle. I think Saka will be licking his lips ahead of this one because we all know the quality that Saka has. We know how good he is, and on his night, he can take on anyone. And I think Alaba's in for a tough night tonight.
I think so as well. So earlier, I said that there were no changes for this Real Madrid side. I don't know why I said that. I think I was thinking about the Arsenal lineup here because, Shantelle, we are seeing the change from no Luka Modric in this one. He obviously got the start at the Emirates last week. He brings a lot of experience to this side. We know what he's capable of in terms of his vision. But do you think that this was a good call for Ancelotti, especially considering that Camavinga is out with that red card and will be missing this game as well?
Looking at this lineup, I'm just really happy, first of all, that Valverde is in his rightful position. No, we know that he can play anywhere, for sure. But one of my concerns from the last match was midfield. We saw him playing as right back. And, for example, Jude Bellingham is a player where I feel like when he has more freedom to move about, he delivers, and we see the Jude Bellingham that we're used to. And the last match, there was a lot of pressure on him. And we weren't seeing the quality of player. Midfield was weak. So him being back in midfield is amazing to see. It would have been nice to have Modric, but I'm trusting Carlo on this one. He must know what he's doing. I'm hoping he knows what he's doing, because, of course, Modric would be coming with experience, and he would have done great things before. But I'm actually confident with this midfield. Even though he's missing, I'm very confident with this midfield right now as it is.
And Clinton, that's not to say that Modric won't get a cameo in this match, obviously. Coming off the bench, him or maybe Dani Ceballos, if in need, to help out either Bellingham, Tchouaméni, or, oh my gosh. Who's
Valverde.
Valverde. How could I ever forget the best player at Real Madrid? Ridiculous. Oh, there was a question there,
Sorry,
Clinton.
sorry,
I got
Clinton, I thought you didn't get a question to speak. Just speak.
No, Clinton, we're just talking about the midfield there and those changes of Modric being on the bench, obviously. No Camavinga in this one. So Valverde, Tchouaméni, and Bellingham. But we could potentially see Modric off the bench as well as Dani Ceballos.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think Dani Ceballos, considering how good he was just before he had that brief injury that took him away from the last couple of games, I think he's some guy whom I have extreme confidence in. Look at Modric, obviously, he's got the experience. He's played like hundreds of Champions League games. He pretty much knows how this type of pressure can be handled. However, you know, when you look at that young Arsenal team, I don't think this is the kind of game me in particular will be starting to look at Modric, because fact is, when you look at that Arsenal team, they're just going to run him. And, you know, when you look at his age, I just feel like he's probably going to break down on this pitch due to the level of pressure that's on this current Real Madrid. You know, having this young players, especially that midfield for Real Madrid, that pair, that Valverde, you know, the Jude Bellingham and Tchouaméni, I think those three are pretty much very solid, you know, to take on this Arsenal, especially knowing how many goals that they need to score. When you look at this Real Madrid center, Sara, one thing you got to understand is the fact that all of these players are players who are also capable of even acting as people who can score goals. These guys can, I mean, we don't want to go back, you know, to memory lane to think about the kind of goals we've seen Valverde score. Let me show you one of the problems I feel has happened to Real Madrid recently is the fact that they've been trying to manage that defense to the point where we then have, you know, Valverde, whom we know he's one of the most critical players for that team, having to be a defender, which I believe has made that team look so poor. We know that Valverde, his quality, he makes Real Madrid look so good even in the times when it feels like these guys are becoming so bad. So I'm just so happy to see him coming back to that natural position where he's very good at. We know that, you know, if you have that defensive power and that offensive power that Valverde pretty much has, we know what Jude Bellingham can do running around, you know, acting as a number 10 sometimes. You know, we also have Tchouaméni, who is a very experienced defender, and not just a defender. We know his natural position is as a midfielder. I have a lot of confidence. Now, you now take it forward to the guys up front, Vinicius, Rodrigo, Kylian Mbappe. You know, it's going to be a very critical one. The only thing I'm just scared of is, would they be able to pull back 3 goals against this Arsenal? That is because Arsenal, they're not going to sit down waiting for these guys to just keep scoring goals. Would they be able to pull off this remontada? God, I hope so.
Yeah, I think you're hitting the nail on the head there with Federico Valverde as well. I mean, we also saw a really quiet game, maybe his worst game of the season against Arsenal. And for him to have his worst game, I mean, like, everything goes through him at Real Madrid. He really is the engine of this team. So for him to have a big game tonight, it'll affect everything on Real Madrid, in my opinion. But let's take a quick look at the Arsenal lineup here from Mikel Arteta. Clinton, if you may do the honors.
Right, okay. You'll have to wait again, yeah?
No worries. No worries.
In your own time, Clinton.
Always waiting for the big star.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah. No, I mean, you got to give me that respect, man. Okay, so for Arsenal, we've got Raya starting in goal as usual. We've got Timber, Saliba, and Kiwill. Right, that name, I'm not very good at pronouncing it, I'm sure. But we've also got Lewis Kelly on that defensive side. Now, when you look at that midfield, you got Partey, Rice, and Odegaard. Now, that trio, they seem pretty much very scary. I'm looking at them 3. I don't know why a part of me is saying that in the quest of Real Madrid trying to come back on 3, these guys may end up putting 2, just like we saw yesterday with Aston Villa versus, God, help me, my dementia is coming again.
PSG, my friend.
I can't remember whoever they played. But I remember PSG, that's the one. My boy, Ousmane Dembele. Now, up front, again, is Saka, Martinelli, and Merino. Oh, listen, Sarah, this is very scary. You can clearly see that Mikel Arteta is not choosing to bow down. What my man is trying to do at this point is, he's saying, I understand that we are pretty much leading by 3-0 from the Emirates, but, you know, I'm still coming with some, you know, proper problems. It's like, I don't want peace. You know, my man is saying, let's give them the problem that they deserve. Everyone been screaming, Remontada, the comeback kings. I think Mikel Arteta is on a mission to say, I'm going to stop all that stuff that this Real Madrid fans are thinking will be happening this evening.
All right, well, guys, Alex, we have no changes here for Arsenal's lineup. Same as last weekend. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But on top of that, Arsenal obviously hit with several injuries, as we know. Gabby Jesus, Gabriel, they're missing several players here, several starters, rather. So this has to be the strongest lineup. And when Clinton's talking about that midfield, I mean, we saw, obviously, those 2 beautiful free kick goals from Declan Rice. But Thomas Partey, as Gary mentioned last time he was on the show just last week for this match, maybe the most influential player for Arsenal. So that midfield is definitely going to have to do a lot of work for Arsenal, but they did do the job in the first leg.
Yeah, I think you look at that midfield battle, Thomas Partey starting, I thought he was excellent, and Declan Rice, need we speak about Declan Rice and his 2 wonderful free kicks. I feel like I need a big game from Martin Odegaard today for Arsenal to do well in this midfield battle. He's lining up against a midfield in Jude Bellingham and Fede Valverde. I'm imagining that Tchouaméni might drop back a little bit, but when you look at that midfield battle and even the defenders that he'll have to deal with, Raul Asensio and Antonio Rudiger, I think the battle that he'll have to try and take some of the pressure off Bukayo Saka, Mikel Merino and Gabriel Martinelli, just to allow them to make their runs and create those pockets of space. And he's going to have to lead from the front, lead from example by example today. I think also the fact that they've got Ben White back on the bench as a possibility to come on. We know that this game will be tough, backs against the wall stuff for Arsenal. So just to have that extra defender that it could bring on if they needed to, potentially go to a back 5 if it got to, say, 2-0 and there's 85 minutes on the clock. They want that extra man in the defence. Bringing Ben White on would be a fantastic option for Arteta.
Yeah, and Shantelle, with the missing of Gabriel, obviously everyone was quite nervous ahead of the first leg for Arsenal, being that he is arguably one of the best centre-backs in the world and maybe the most important player for Arsenal this season. But we saw Lewis Skelly, we saw Kivior, we saw Timber all really step up in that game, and they shut Real Madrid down. So they must have some confidence going into this match, knowing that the four of them all played together. They're all back again, and they've already done it before.
The thing is, what really bothered me is that, yes, key players are missing. So Real Madrid didn't go up against Arsenal in their strongest form.
Yep.
And they still got the work done. So obviously, well, I want to say obviously that should build their confidence because, hey, they got the job done regardless of what struggles that they're having or the lack thereof. But my thing is, and I don't want to sound like a delusional Real Madrid fan, is that Real Madrid over the years, and I want to say it's the same for this year, what has been saving them, especially for this year, is individual brilliance. Where if Mbappe decides to have a good game, or Vinny, or even Bellingham, we could see a different turnout tonight. So, yes, the confidence is good, but at the same time, I wouldn't be too comfortable because this is still Real Madrid. At the end of the day, if one of them decides to say, hey, I'm going to channel that inner beast, we could see a showdown tonight.
Yeah. I don't think anyone from Arsenal nor Mikel Arteta would say they're comfortable going into this, because you'd be foolish to have that mentality.
No, but the thing is that not to be too overconfident.
Absolutely.
You know?
I think they have to go into this thinking it's 0-0. That's how I would go into this match. Clinton, just on what Shantelle was saying about individual brilliance, how important is it for Real Madrid to have a player like Kylian Mbappe or Vinicius Jr. really step up? Because Vinicius Jr. over the last several months, in fact, has not been who we know him to be. And Kylian Mbappe, in the last leg, was... you spoke about him at the desk. He had two very clear-cut chances, and you expected him to do what Kylian Mbappe does, and he failed to do that twice. How important is it for Real Madrid to have these two specifically really step up this evening?
Now, Sarah, listen, I think, first of all, we've got to understand that we're expecting Real Madrid to come back with 3 goals and not just scoring 3, maybe scoring an extra one or taking themselves into the extra time, for them to be able to move on to the next stage. Now,
Who's we?
If they want to be able to do this, it's not by... okay, me and Alex and some of the Real Madrid fans around the stadium, maybe. But what you got to understand is, if we want to get the results that I would be expecting Real Madrid to be pulling up today, fact is it's not going to be depending on one player. It's not going to be depending on 2 players. It's going to be dependent on every single one of them on that pitch. I would be expecting a Kylian Mbappe, a Vinicius, a Rodrigo to be causing some serious hits on that Arsenal backline, honestly. Because fact is, we've seen with Real Madrid so many times where you have, say, maybe an Mbappe causing all the problems, right? He gets 1 or 2 goals. But, I don't think that's the kind of Real Madrid that, the Real Madrid fans are used to seeing. We want to see a type of game where, there's hit coming from the left, there's hit coming from the right, and even the center forward is literally causing some serious problems. You come to the midfield, you see Valverde, you see Bellingham, you see Tchouaméni, everybody trying to take shots at every single opportunities. Now, this is the only way I see Real Madrid coming back on this one. But if they want to depend on 1 or 2 persons shining and expecting to come back with 3 goals and then going to extra time or even having an extra one that takes them to the next round of this Champions League competition, listen, I don't think it's going to work. Every single one of them, they must step up.
Yeah, we didn't. Go ahead.
I think it just went over his head because because collectively, I want to say that collectively the team has been poor in most of the games. Like, I don't want to call it luck, but they have been getting through on luck. So collectively, Real Madrid hasn't been clicking like what we're used to, where, you get heat from the left, heat from the right. That hasn't been the case this season. So I was saying that maybe for a match like this, they have star players, they have quality players, where maybe one of them might have to turn on. It would be great if they could all come together and collectively support each other, because that's the beauty of football. But I haven't been seeing that from Real Madrid this season.
I think where the success has to come from is the channels. You look at, I think back to that Man City game, in the way that they, not just the front 3, but Bellingham as well, the midfield, the way that they interchanged and moved between each other, and it wasn't regular crosses around the middle that Saliba's going to eat up all night long. Kivior's going to head those away 90 minutes long. They have to be clever about it, put those balls through the middle on the ground, because Mbappe and Vinny and Rodrigo, they're not going to win aerial battles. They're going to lose those 10 times out of 10. They have to be sensible about that battle. And I think really if they can use those flanks and run into the channels and be flexible with their positioning and not be rigid to one side and do it or perform and that tactical, I think, the way that they played against City in that way of interchanging the flanks and moving in between the channels, I think that could really cause a problem for this Arsenal defence because what we saw last week from Real Madrid was too predictable. They would come at them. Arsenal had 4 or 5 men behind the ball and then another 4 men in front of them. They could deal with that. They were happy. They could just sit there and wait. But they have to be unpredictable. They have to throw things at Arsenal that they're not expecting. Otherwise, I could see them really struggling to get a goal tonight.
And how much of this is going to be on Carlo Ancelotti? Because, as I mentioned, when we saw him line up last week against Arsenal, that start of Luka Modric, a lot of people were questioning it when you have that young, pacey, aggressive midfield of Arsenal with Declan Rice, Thomas Partey, and Martin Odegaard. And then you have someone like Modric, who's 39, I believe. And yes, we can say he brings experience, but fatigue plays into this. I know in the defense, okay, he's starting the same defense, and there's questions about Alaba, there's questions about Vasquez, but fine, maybe you can blame that on injuries, although I still think maybe Fran Garcia should be getting into this. But we saw Brahim Diaz come in 85th against Arsenal. At that point, I mean, there's nothing he can do. You saw really, unnoticeable Rodrigo in this match. He should have been pulled earlier. I think Lucas Vasquez was subbed out at like the 70th. He probably should have been subbed at half at that point. So Jude Bellingham alone, I've been saying it, but he's kind of been playing out of position, and it's come down to Carlo Ancelotti. So how important is it that Carlo Ancelotti also gets it right tonight? If it's not working, then switch it up. Yeah,
and I think I'm glad to see, as much as Modric is still one of the best players in his position, I'm glad to see Bellingham and Valverde in that midfield. I think the midfield really needs that pace. And if it isn't going right, they have to make changes quicker. They have to bring on other players just to add that different dynamic to the midfield, because as much as Modric is a fantastic player, the sort of role that you want him to play is more of a controlled role. You want him to slow the game down, to be that rock in the midfield that can break up attacks. You don't want him there to start quick counter-attacks. You don't want him to be the one making runs between the defence and the attack. And to have a midfield with Valverde and Bellingham, who I think will push a little bit further forward and aid Vinny and Mbappe in that forward line, and Rodrigo as well, that pace I think will be key for Real Madrid as well when they come to attacking that Arsenal defence. Because if they're predictable and they're slow, like they were last week, I don't think that Arsenal defence will have any problems just sitting there and taking any problems that they see coming their way and having an easy night at the Bernabéu.
Yeah. All right, Nua, well, let's check in with you because I do see the comments flying ahead of this match.
Yes, absolutely. The comments are mixed, actually. Some are for Madrid, some are for the Gunners. We have some crazy score predictions. We have 4-0 for Real Madrid, 5-1 for Arsenal, 5-0 for Madrid. So it's crazy. We have AD Samuel who says 90 minutes at the Bernabeu is equal to 3-1 against Milan, 4-0 against Barcelona, and 2-1 against Valencia. We have a lot of comebacks are in our DNA, so a lot of Real Madrid fans who believe in Real Madrid, but also some hesitation. Izibor Luffy is saying if Vinicius Jr. is shut down by Arsenal defense, then forget about a comeback because Vinny Jr. plays a big role in the comebacks. We also had a little poll earlier. Can Los Blancos pull off La Remontada? Over 200 voted. So we have no at 52% and then yes at 47%. So we could say that most viewers believe in a Real Madrid remontada.
All right. Well, right now at SportyBet as well, Real Madrid to qualify in this one is 6.10. Alex, Arsenal 1.10. Considering everything, not too bad. Thinking that Real Madrid are losing 3-0 and it's only 6.10 for them to go through. If it was any other team, it'd probably be 15.
It would be.
At least.
It would be. The Real Madrid's the only team that would have odds of that in a game like this where they lost the first leg 3-0. And we've seen the amount of times that this hasn't happened. We talked about the 4-goal deficit being overturned once in 159 attempts. I think, is it 3 or 4 times since 1992 that a 3-goal deficit has been overturned in the Champions League. And you look at some of the comebacks that Real Madrid have had over the years, and I'm talking about the ones against PSG, against Man City, there is, and we always talk about, there's something about Real Madrid in the Champions League. They don't have to be playing their best football. They don't have to be performing at their best in the league. But when it comes to the Champions League, sometimes, somehow, they pull a cat out of the bag and they just, well, they pull a rabbit out of the hat even, and they pull something off that no one could imagine. And when I look at tonight's game, they're going to need another night like that to pull off this miracle, I think it would be.
Clinton, I want to ask you, speaking of La Remontada, obviously for Real Madrid, they're going to need to score first and score early in this one to kind of get the Bernabeu going, kind of unite the players, get everyone amped, cut that 3 goals into 2. But on the flip side, how important is it for Arsenal to score first? Because can you imagine if Arsenal were to score first in this one, go from 3-0 to 4-0? That changes everything. I think for both teams, it's equally as important to score first in this one.
No, absolutely, Sarah. First of all, we saw what happened with Aston Villa and PSG yesterday. We saw PSG going with first 2 goals, and for some reason, I don't know where all the energy came from Aston Villa, and they started pushing, to score more goals. Now, if you had given them maybe an extra 10 minutes, who knows? Maybe Aston Villa would have qualified. Now, fact is, for Arsenal, I don't, I mean, and this is me, I don't see any reason for them to push for scoring a goal first. At this point, what their goal is literally is to make sure they are defending as much as possible. I mean, a draw is a powerful, in fact, it's the best scoreline that Arsenal would even pray to get, because when you look at the aggregate, it's still going to be 3-0 aggregate. Now, if Arsenal scores in this one, I think it's also still a plus for them. Either way, I think what Arsenal will be looking at doing in this one is either we score or we defend. Everything Real Madrid will be trying to do today is to try to score early. Now, everybody pretty much understands that this is I mean, everyone has been speaking about this whole Real Madrid will try to score within the first 15 minutes. And they seem to forget that this is Arsenal. Arsenal, they are currently the second in the Premier League, which, in my opinion, is the hardest league, in the world. Now, what is the probability, or what are the possibilities that Arsenal are just going to sit down and say, hello, Real Madrid, you want to score us in 15 minutes? How about you score? Like, I mean, I think that's going to be something that would take extreme and divine grace for Real Madrid to be able to pull off. They are not playing against a Girona. They are not playing against a Lyon or Lille or, I mean, no offense to any of the clubs in the French league, but, there are some clubs that you would understand.
Sorry, didn't Lille beat Real Madrid in the Champions League group stage match? Sorry, I just want to go back to that one, Clinton.
No, hang on, wait, hold on. But you got to understand that between Real Madrid and Lille, there's only one team that's been spoken about right now. Still in the Champions League is still Real Madrid. So forget about whatever's happened in the past. We are speaking about now, okay? Now, I mean, I'm just saying that when it comes to this kind of famous comebacks, there are some teams that we can say that it can happen, especially knowing that this Real Madrid, in my opinion, isn't the Real Madrid that, I would define as the Real Madrid I used to know maybe a couple of years ago. Like, especially this season, this Real Madrid have not been extremely solid. Now, this comeback against an Arsenal, whom, in all honesty, if you want to be sincere with yourself, Sarah, Alex, Arsenal, they've been a better team than Real Madrid. A comeback on this Arsenal, I don't know.
I wanted to ask you, Clinton, as well, that the Real Madrid legend Cristiano Ronaldo is in the building this evening, and allegedly he's going to give a pep talk to the players ahead of this match. What are your thoughts on that? And also, can you go and get an interview with him for the Sporty Show, please? And thank you.
I mean, now that you've mentioned it, I'm going to start asking. I'm going to find whatever room it is, wherever it is. Cristiano Ronaldo is coming to Sporty TV, and this one is happening. Cristiano!
What are your thoughts, though, on him giving the players a little bit of motivation ahead of this match?
I mean, I think it's going to be a very crucial and a mental strengthening tactics for the players of Real Madrid. I mean, we all know what Cristiano Ronaldo represents in football, not just in this stadium, but, in the world. I could imagine being a player right now and I see Cristiano Ronaldo giving me some kind of TED talk on how to come back. Honestly, if I'm planning on scoring one with Cristiano Ronaldo being there, I will score 2. If Lionel Messi, impossible, but if he was here, I will score 5. Now, I think it's going to definitely do a very strong mental, preparation for these players having a Cristiano Ronaldo next to them.
Fair enough, Alex. Would you agree to that?
I mean, I think there's always something about having a player like Cristiano Ronaldo in the dressing room. If they can get something out of that, I think these Real Madrid players will be motivated enough as it is. But to have someone like that, who's obviously a legend at the club and one of the best players, if not the best player to ever play for Real Madrid, to come in there and give them that little bit of extra motivation. I heard as well that the staff at Real Madrid have been preparing a video to show to the players tonight in the dressing room. So they're doing everything they can to try and motivate and get the most out of these players. And I think it will all help, but knowing these players, they'll be motivated themselves without all of that. They'll know the importance of tonight. And I think we heard Jude Bellingham say it yesterday that there's not a lot, coming to Madrid, there's not a lot of things that you can do in the Champions League that hasn't already been done. But pulling off a comeback like this would go down in the history books of a Real Madrid Champions League, in their chapter of Champions League football, as one of the best moments in the club's history.
And for Arsenal, if they were to win this, where does that rank in terms of European nights for the Gunners? Obviously, not having won a Champions League, but they have never lost to Real Madrid with the 3 times they faced one another, 2 wins and a draw. But with the situation of this Arsenal team, after Liverpool went so far ahead in the Premier League and pretty much secured it, back in March, I mean, where would this fall? Would this be the biggest night in European football for Arsenal?
I think in terms of recent day, you look at that final against Barcelona and the how close they were to winning a title.
Lost.
No, they lost. In terms of nights, this gets up there to a night like, obviously it's not a final, but if they were to win tonight, I think it would be up there in terms of the belief that they have. Obviously, they would go on and face the PSG side, who have beaten Liverpool, beaten Aston Villa, and one of the best sides in the competition this season, one of the favourites to win the competition. So for them, I think to beat a side like Real Madrid in the Champions League will give them so much belief heading into that semi-final that they could really see that path to the final and a game against, whether it be Inter Milan, Bayern Munich, possibly Barcelona as well, if they get through, which I think they will do, to the final. But when you look at that final that they lost to Barcelona and this year, if they were to get through to the semi-finals, I think that would, the belief surrounding it, I think there's just a little bit more belief now in this Arsenal camp. If they beat Real Madrid, that for them, I think that would just give them so much extra motivation heading into the semi-final.
Sure. All of you at home that are watching, let us know if you're a Gunner. What's the biggest night in European football? If Arsenal wins this evening, or maybe that Andre Arshavin goal against Barcelona where they went through there, or they won the first leg, rather. Shantelle, I know it pains you to speak about this. You're very much going for Real Madrid here, and I'd like to ask you why.
What do you mean, why?
You have a feeling towards Arsenal.
Okay, so you're asking me, generally, why am I supporting Real Madrid, or why are they the favorites to win this, or?
No, they're not the favorites to win.
No,
why are you? Yeah.
Okay. Because
I saw it in your face when I was talking to Alex about them potentially going through. It's just stone cold.
Because I want to say, naturally, I do support Real Madrid, so it would mean everything to witness this historic, because they've never come back from 3-0 down. So it would be nice to see them have this historic comeback. And if Cristiano Ronaldo is allegedly speaking to them, I would hope that he's, giving them that remedy that he pulled back in 2016. I think it was against Wolfsburg when 17 minutes in, he took them, because they were 2-0. Wolfsburg 2-0, and he basically gave them a brace and then went on to win. So I hope he passed on that remedy to them, because they will need to score first and then keep scoring and let Arsenal not score at all. And the other reason I'm supporting Real Madrid, apart from being a Real Madrid fan, is just that the Gunners would be too insufferable. I'm sorry. So Real Madrid, take it away.
Okay, well, let's go to Lucrezia now, who's joining us from a local Spanish bar with some fans. How is it, Lucrezia? Is it getting full? Do we see more Arsenal fans? Are you with the Guiris, or are you with the Real Madrid fans? Tell us a little bit about what's going on.
Hi, Sara. Yes, good evening. As you can see, I'm here in the club. For now, I see more Real Madrid fans, not really Arsenal ones here. Maybe they'll go to like other pubs. I don't know, but the atmosphere is getting electric. Fans are starting to gather, to pack here, and they still believe in the dream, in the comeback, in that famous Remontada we've been talking a lot about in the past few days. You know, and after the 3-0 defeat in the first leg in the Emirates, now for Ancelotti's side, it was a sort of do or die situation. The challenge tonight is monumental, but if there's one team that has showed us that they can turn the impossible into history, well, that's Real Madrid. We've seen it before in Europe. They've been, you know, having great comebacks. So the fans are clinging to this history, to this DNA, to this comeback legend that they are.
With the Real Madrid fans that you do see, are they confident this evening? Are they admitting, you know, some sort of energy that they're positive about this and getting that remontada?
Yes, as I said, they do believe in their team. We've seen them pulling a comeback lots of times. So they're still confident for tonight.
All right, well, Lucrezia, we'll be checking back in and out with you as the match starts to get some of the live action results. So enjoy your time there. Clinton, it's about that time, though, where we have to let... Thank you, Lucrezia. Clinton, it is that time, though, where we have to let you get settled into the Bernabéu, make your way up the escalator and into your seat. So we do hope you have a good match. And I think we'll be speaking to you at the end of the match. Whether you'll be happy or sad, I can't say. 90 minutes is a long time at the Bernabéu, like they like to say it. Actually, Clinton, give me a score prediction for this evening before I let you go. Sorry.
Okay, my score prediction is 2-1 full-time for Real Madrid. Now, qualification, that one I'm not too sure about, unfortunately.
Well, if it's 2-1 to Real Madrid, there won't be any qualification, so I think you are sure enough about it. All right. Okay, Clinton, go enjoy the match, and we'll speak to you after the match and all the chaos that I'm assuming is coming our way very, very soon.
Thank you very much. See you guys soon. Ebwe, boo! Cristiano.
Cristiano, bringing it all the way back. All right, Shantelle, can you give me a score prediction for this match this evening before we jump to the second match of the night?
Score prediction, I don't want to give any. Real Madrid will win. That's my prediction.
Real Madrid will qualify. We go to the next round. Yeah. No, just want to clarify for everyone.
Do you want my realistic one or my fun one?
I want
both.
Yeah, both.
Okay, my realistic one. To be honest, actually, the more I think about it, the more I think, why the hell not? I just put them both together. I'm going to say 3-0 Real Madrid. 4th goal in extra time for Los Blancos.
So we're here for a long time at this stage.
That's what it sounds like.
Okay. I mean, got it done early yesterday. Alex wants us to be with you guys until the early hours in the morning. I think I'm gonna go with it's so hard. 2-1 or 2-2. I don't know which one. 2-1 to Real Madrid. Pardon me. 2-2. I don't know. Can Arsenal score 2 goals? I don't know.
No, it's so hard.
Yeah, I have Arsenal going through. We'll get to our booking codes later in the show, but I don't. Let's go 2-2 because Clinton went 2-1. Let's go 2-2. Let's see. Oh, it's 4 goals, so exciting enough. There is another match this evening. I know a lot of the attention has been brought to the Santiago Bernabéu and this Real Madrid and Arsenal match, but over in Milan at the San Siro, Inter is getting ready to welcome Bayern Munich. Now let's go through these starting lineups before we jump into this one, guys. And there have been some changes made for Bayern Munich as well as Inter Milan. So let's start with the home team. And it will be Jan Sommer, Pavard, Acerbi, and Bastoni. No changes there. It's in the midfield where we see Darmian, Barella, Çalhanoğlu, Mkhitaryan, and Di Marco. So no Augusto in this one. And up front, of course, Lautaro Martinez and Marcus Thuram. For Bayern Munich, Ervig, Stanisic, Dyer, Kim, and Leimer. Goretzka, Thomas Muller getting the start after getting subbed on and scoring for Bayern last week. Joshua Kimmich, Leroy Sané, Harry Kane, and Michael Olise. Alex, Thomas Muller getting into this lineup for Vincent Kompany's side after he was the only man to get on the scoreboard last week. Bit of a confidence boost for him, but also shows how much they still trust this legend in German football.
Yeah, I think also when you look at It comes down to experience in nights like these. I would have maybe lent to putting either Leroy Sané or Michael Olise in the middle and bringing on Serge Gnabry. I think the pace that he provides is something that Bayern will need tonight to break down this Inter Milan defence. Whether Thomas Müller can be enough, I just feel like the experienced head is the reason why Vincent Kompany's gone for him, and of course he'll captain the side tonight. So I think partly in agreement with the decision to start him tonight, but I think if it doesn't go well, they should bring on Serge Gnabry as soon as possible, because we all know the pace that he possesses and the ability he has on the ball, and a front 3 or 4 with Kane, Sané, Michael Olise and Serge Gnabry could cause some trouble for that Inter Milan defence.
Absolutely. Well, I would like to welcome Kelvin Owusu to the show, coming to us from Accra and Sporty FM. Kelvin, welcome back.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Are you getting ready? Are you getting ready for the Arsenal-Madrid match? Where's Gary? Is he running around screaming somewhere?
Well, he's taking it cool. He's on his way coming. As you can see, a lot of people have started gathering here and getting ready for the game. It's going to be a big night. Many are expecting Arsenal to fall today, but for some of the Arsenal fans, they are eager to see their side repeat what they did back in 2006. But that seems to be a Herculean task for most of the people who are around. And, you know, the commentary around just before the game begins is that, can Arsenal withstand the might and the legendary status with which Real Madrid comes to the Champions League with? So that seems to be the only, you know, thing that Arsenal fans are thinking about. There are a couple of them around and they are looking forward to that big clash to see whether things can go their way. I have a couple of them here, and probably I'll let them have their quick thoughts on whether they can get this past Real Madrid with all the experience and with all the big things that I've seen Real Madrid do this season in the UEFA Champions League. Well, let's big man here. Your name, please.
My name is Zion.
Well, Zion, yes, Arsenal. You don't look too, you know, enthused about the game. Why are you afraid?
We are more relaxed. If you had asked me this question in the first leg, I wouldn't have been able to answer you like I will do today, because I think the team performed very well in the first leg, that we think qualifying to the next stage wouldn't be that easy, but we are going to go through.
Well, they are going to go through. There is also another Arsenal fan. I'll be seeing if we can get 1 or 2 Real Madrid fans and talk to. But the Arsenal fans are very much dominant. Is this a win for the Gunners this evening?
Absolutely. We are going to the semi-finals, and that is the only outcome of this match.
Well, they are going through to the semi-finals, and that is going to be the only outcome of this match. The Madrid fans have gathered somewhere. Yes, we've heard them far from a distance, and they are trooping in here. We'll get to see them when the game begins, obviously. But it's a big night, and, you know, we just hope to see the very best of football, just like we saw yesterday in the 2 games, and see whether Real Madrid are going to repeat what they normally do, or Arsenal are going to keep them in their shells this time around.
Oh, it seems like we're having some technical difficulties there, but we'll jump back to Calvin maybe when he joins some Real Madrid fans and see what the feeling is. Alex, you have to give it to the Arsenal fans, though. They have to be confident. I think if it's your team, you're going to support them no matter what, and I think there's no surprise that they're backing their team.
Yeah, I mean, I would be. If I was an Arsenal fan, I'd be confident.
I heard you might be after this match, actually.
No, I'm not like Clinton. I won't go around changing my team every week.
Okay.
No, I think that they have every reason to be confident, but I think most of them will come into this with a similar feeling to Arteta and the players, that this isn't over. This is a job that's half done. They still have to work really hard tonight to get the result, and the performance that they have to put in tonight to get through is going to have to be a good performance. They can't turn up and think, yeah, we've got this in the bag. So I think they'll be confident, but also a little bit nervous because of what they know could possibly happen if things don't go their way.
Absolutely. Okay, let's direct our attention back to the Inter and Bayern game. Now, Alex, Inter at the San Siro has been a force, unlike their city rivals, Milan at the San Siro. They haven't lost since, I think, February 16th, and that was against Juventus. They have absolutely dominated the Serie A. We have the top of the Serie A versus the top of the Bundesliga, but there's something that I think is swaying in Inter's favor here, and whether that's the home advantage, the fact that they're up a goal, Inzaghi's experience over Vincent Kompany. And fun little fact for you that I actually didn't know. I don't know if anyone was talking about this last week, but Lautaro Martinez is now the top goal scorer in the Champions League for Inter as a club. 1 goal ahead now of Adriano, the great, the late great Adriano.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, he's a fantastic player. He does it week in, week out, and he doesn't get talked about enough, I think, on the European stage. And when you look at this Inter Milan team, Hakan Çalhanoğlu and Mkhitaryan in that midfield with Nico Barella, we know how good he is. This experienced side that they have, but with youthfulness and pace and exciting players to watch, I really see Bayern Munich struggling tonight, and I don't think it will go their way. I think Vincent Kompany will throw everything at it, and the kitchen sink, as they say. And, I think they'll come up short. I think the way that Simone Inzaghi will be approaching this game, the lessons that he would have learnt from last year when they lost to Atletico Madrid, they're at home, they've got the lead, they can control this game from the start. We've seen how poor Bayern Munich have been in the Champions League this season. I really can't see this going Bayern Munich's way, but this is the Champions League. These things can happen. Bayern will come into this motivated. They've got the firepower to do it. Inter will be aware of that, but the Inter defence is so strong. So it's going to be an interesting battle. I'm leaning towards Inter Milan, though.
Yeah. And Shantelle, when we look at this Bayern Munich side, a lot of the attention is directed towards Harry Kane because of how many goals he is scoring for Bayern Munich. He has 10 goals in the Champions League campaign alone. How much pressure is going to be on him just alone here, considering that a lot of what goes through Bayern Munich goes through him? Yes, we've seen Michael Olise since joining. He's been brilliant. And obviously Thomas Muller, the man of the show really last week for Bayern Munich. But Harry Kane really is that. The
pressure is on, for sure. The pressure is on because we know what he represents in the sense of we know what he's capable of. 10 goals in the UCL. He's that striker, you know, and Bayern is in that position right now where he will have to give it his all because it's all falling on him in some sense because they're expecting him to step up. But at the same time, Bayern collectively hasn't been that impressive for me this season overall. And when we speak about the UCL, right, the attention is on Real Madrid. We speak about Arsenal. Well, of course, we're speaking about Liverpool at some point and Arsenal. But a lot of persons skip over Inter, and Inter has been having a stellar season. They have been impressive so far in the Champions League. And I think tonight, I would love to see Bayern have a comeback, but I'd be delusional to like confidently say that they will come back because Inter has been strong and defensively they're amazing. But I want to say that the pressure is definitely on for Harry Kane. Can he be brilliant tonight? We don't know, but at the same time, we've seen him on a good day. So it just depends, is today a good day for him? If it is, then we could see something, but I don't know if that would be enough.
It's an interesting, battle between a really great offensive Bayern and a really stellar defensive Inter. I think the thing is with Inter is that they are also so sound offensively. And Alex, over the weekend, Bayern had to play Dortmund in Der Klassiker, one of their biggest matches of the season. Meanwhile, Inter played Cagliari, rested Mkhitaryan, Marcus Thuram, and Bastoni. Mehdi Taremi is now back in this lineup as well. So it just kind of seems like everything is in favor of Inter. Yeah,
I think it's leaning towards them. They won the first leg. Bayern had to win a game like that if they were going to have any chance coming into this second leg. They're at home in front of their own fans at the San Siro. They're really strong at home. Simone Inzaghi is an experienced manager. They've rested their players. Bayern Munich have played Borussia Dortmund of the weekend. All of the reasons you just said, it's all pointing towards an Inter Milan win. But we can't write Bayern off. It's the Champions League. These things can happen. Obviously, we're talking about Real Madrid coming back against Arsenal. It wouldn't be such a strange situation. It wouldn't be so strange if Bayern Munich were to come back, but I really think it'll be an uphill battle.
Yeah, I just want to play on what you said, Shantelle, about Inter, and I think that I've been tooting Inter's horn here for a couple months now, in the sense that they're so sneaky in the way they're in the quarterfinals and no one is talking about them because you have Barcelona had an unbeaten run until yesterday. PSG woke up out of nowhere. You have Real Madrid and Arsenal, which is a massive clash in football, but Inter, it so much reminds me of 2 years ago when they made it to the final and no one thought they could get there. That was also the year that Lautaro Martinez arguably should have won the Ballon d'Or after winning, the World Cup with Argentina, going to a final, winning the Scudetto, being the highest scorer in Italy, and he's still there doing this. But this Inter team they're absolutely brilliant, and I think it's whether it's not you're not paying enough attention to the Serie A, whether it's not they're not scoring enough goals for you, but they're so across the board, just in every position, they are so stable, and they have backups for each position as well. Like, it's just a solid team.
It is. So it's kind of surprising. Yes, it's the Real Madrid, it's the Arsenal, it's the Barcelona, but Inter is right there, and they could just sneak their way in to the even the finals, but everybody's just turning a blind eye, and they have been solid right throughout. So I wouldn't even be surprised if we see a repeat where they get to the finals somehow.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I think that's going to be Barcelona's hardest matchup if they go up against Inter. As a Barcelona fan myself, I would much rather Barca play Bayern Munich. Every single day, I'd rather have them play.
And
they've already beat them once, and we've seen Bayern Munich be so inconsistent. Inter is the exact opposite of that, and they're the exact opposite team that Barca want to play against. Defensive-minded, letting you play with the ball, no pressure on them whatsoever, and playing that counter. So I think Inter, for me, they have to be looked at as one of the favorites here, because I think any team left in the quarterfinals, Inter is going to give them a problem. So let's see if they do that at the San Siro against Bayern Munich tonight. Before we get to our booking codes, Alex, prediction.
3-0.
3-0 to Inter.
Oh. To Inter.
Sorry, did we not already do this?
No. I was... No, nothing. I'm going to go 2-1, same as the first leg.
2-1 to Inter.
I think Inter will go ahead, Bayern will equalise, and Inter will score in the second half.
Okay. Chantelle?
No, Alex might be right. I can see that happening. So I'm going to second his.
2-1 to Inter.
No. Like, based on how you lay it out, I can literally see that happening.
What can I say?
So I'm not going to oppose it, Alex.
I'm going to hope that this game is much more exciting, and I'm going to go 3-2 to Inter Milan. I think they'll get the job done. What was your prediction for Real Madrid, really quickly, Chantelle?
Oh, I didn't give one. I just said that Real Madrid would qualify.
Right, that is what you said, Real Madrid to win. Okay, the players are coming onto the pitch here, so let's give you our booking codes ahead of this one. And surprisingly, I had a boom yesterday. Keep it simple, Alex.
Yeah.
And you'll go through. I had both teams to score in both matches and over 2.5 goals in the Aston Villa and PSG game. We kept it simple, guys. And I'm going to try and keep doing that, except I lied and I said I was going to bring the heat tonight. So I have 8 picks for tonight. And even still, the value is like 4.66. So let me just pull this one up. But if we can, there we go. So for my booking code, I've gone with an away win. I think Real Madrid are going to win this evening, but I've gone for Arsenal to qualify overall. Okay. I've gone for Kylian Mbappe as an anytime goal scorer, and I've gone for over 2.5 goals as well, and Real Madrid to score first. So if you can remember all of that. Meanwhile, Inter and Bayern, I've gone for both teams to score, and Lautaro Martinez as an anytime goal scorer. So we'll see. There's a lot here. So, I mean, hopefully.
I mean, in a perfect world, that's a boom star right there for the Real Madrid.
I mean,
well,
yeah. But the fact that it's 4.66, it's
Arsenal to qualify. Never mind.
Oh, okay. All right, Chantelle, you also have a booking code?
No, I don't.
No, you don't. Alex has a booking code, though.
I do. So I've gone out there and I've really pushed the boat out. I've gone for Real Madrid to beat Arsenal 3-0. This is in normal time. So that means it would go to extra time. I haven't given a prediction for extra time.
Oh, my goodness, 40.
I've gone for Real Madrid to qualify to the semi-finals. And I've gone for Inter to beat Bayern Munich and under 3.5 goals in that Inter-Bayern Munich game.
I honestly think where you're going to get caught is the correct score. It's not even round. Like, the fact that you think it's going to be 3-0 exactly. That means Arsenal's not going to score at all. It's not going to go 4-1. That's still the same deficit. But 40.50, guys, if you're feeling gutsy like Alex Ashmore, put a little sprinkle on Sporty Bet. All right, guys, well, it is time. The players are on the pitch here. Both matches are moments away from kickoff. And if it was anything like yesterday, we can expect some brilliant football to be had. It feels like another very exciting European evening, Alex, when we see both of these matches. We have 2 super matches in Inter and Bayern, Real Madrid and Arsenal. No one's going to be blinking for the next 90 minutes.
It's going to be an exciting one. I might have to rub my eyes every now and then to really.
You guys were with us yesterday.
Just to check to see what I'm seeing is real. But no, an exciting game. I can't wait for both of these ones, and we're really getting to the business end of the season, aren't we?
It's getting serious, guys. Shantelle, yesterday in the 2 matches, we saw 9 goals.
Yeah.
Do you expect to see more or less?
I want to see more, just because I want to be entertained.
I don't want peace, I want
more,
problems.
And more coming from Real Madrid, because they need to have the most goals tonight. Come on.
All right, well, we will see. Let's go through these lineups one more time at the Santiago Bernabéu for Real Madrid. It's Courtois, Lucas Vazquez, Raúl Asensio, Rudiger, and Alaba. Valverde, Tchouaméni, and Bellingham. And up front, Rodrigo, Kylian Mbappe, and Vinicius Jr. For Mikel Arteta's Arsenal, Raya, Luis Skelly, Kivior, Saliba, and Timber. Odegaard, Partey, Rice, and up front, Martinelli, Merino, and Saka. No changes made for the Gunners. Over at the San Siro, it's Sommer, Pavard, Acerbi, and Bastoni, Darmian, Barella, Çalhanoğlu, Mkhitaryan, and Di Marco, with Lautaro Martinez and Thuram leading Inter. And for Bayern Munich, Erbig, Stanisic, Kim, Dyer, Leimer, Goretzka, Muller, Kimmich, and Sané, Kane, and Michael Olise for the visiting side. And we are underway at the San Siro already, and it looks like it's already going to be a chippy affair, Alex. Maybe some yellow cards if you were feeling.
Yeah, I didn't want to risk putting that in my bet, because I thought this could go either way. This could be players being cautious, or it could get a little feisty. If there are quite a few bookies tonight, I think it could come in extra time if we see it.
Well, there looks like there already happens, maybe, Harry Kane trying to make a chance here for Bayern Munich. If you guys were to pick which match is going to have more cards, what match is that going to be?
I'm going to go Bayern Inter. I think Bayern will get a little bit frustrated. I think when I look at Arsenal and Real Madrid's lineup, I think there's a few players that are at risk of missing the next leg should they both or should either of them qualify. So I think there'll be a bit of caution thrown to the wind for Arsenal and Real Madrid. So, yeah, I think Inter and Bayern will have the more bookings.
All right, well, I think Nua's back. Oh, there's a chance for Inter here already at the top of the box. Oh, my goodness gracious. Oh, right. Well, okay, and Nua will join us momentarily. But Inter coming off from the beginning, trying to make that 2-1 a 3-1. And there we see Carlo Ancelotti awaiting, well, what could be the best night for him, Shantelle, or one of the worst moments until kickoff here. And just a quick check-in here. Aaron Bapunzda, former Bordeaux and Gabonese footballer, passed away early this morning. We heard the news, so sending our condolences rather to his family. And it's always very tragic when we see a young footballer lose their life way too soon. So thoughts with his family, teammates, former coaches. All right, back to the Santiago Bernabéu because it is kickoff time. Alex Ashmore, we are underway here in Madrid. Real Madrid taking on Arsenal. Arsenal up 3-0 on aggregate. Who will be celebrating this evening? Wow.
I can't call
the tingles. Who has the tingles?
I'm literally so anxious right now because, wow.
These are what big European nights feel like. We felt it yesterday. We felt it. Well, no, we're feeling it right now.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen some.
Penalty shout for Bayern Munich there.
Leroy Sané asking for something.
In the box.
Alex, yesterday we did see a couple chances for maybe Aston Villa and Barcelona, some penalties that maybe didn't go their way, and I'm hoping that doesn't happen this evening again. Obviously, there's so much on the line for these matches that you do wonder. I mean, for Barcelona, they did end up going through, but like you were saying, PSG and that Hakimi kick, whether or not, that should have been called, how would that have changed the match? So hopefully we don't see that this evening as well. But I do expect to be seeing actually a lot of yellow cards. And to be honest, I think we might be seeing it more from the other game. Yeah,
I think there were a few decisions yesterday that were questionable. And I think it's always going to happen in these pressure games. And referees are human, we have to remember that, and mistakes can happen. So just hopefully we get the right decisions tonight, and it's a fair game of football.
All right, let's check in with Nua, who is joining us once again. Nua, what is everyone saying on social media? We are underway here in both matches.
Absolutely. So we have some theorists actually in the chat. Believers Network is saying refereeing is my issue for tonight's game. And then we have Kelvin Prince saying if Madrid wins this game, then it could be a robbery. Eric Giartena says Real Madrid will come back 5-3.
Madrid scored, but it's an
Clinton will go
offside.
home
Sorry, Nua.
with
Sorry.
tears of
It was
joy. Sorry.
Kylian Mbappe was offside by about 3 meters in that one, not moving whatsoever, but tapped it in.
Let's game on.
Well, I mean, no, because it's offside.
No, but he's fired up, so let's do it again, but this time be onside, Kylian.
Yeah, sorry, Nua. He was about 3 meters offside there and decided to just head it in for the sake of maybe the fans. But Nua, continue.
So to go back to your booking code, we have some booking code comments. Markande says, your money should be on Real Madrid. This is the best advice this year, believe me. Then we have 237 hilarious comedies saying Madrid is qualifying. Don't take that code. Then we have Despicable R saying Sara is gonna get paid tonight.
Oh, 2 in a row. First
and
time
call
for
me.
everything.
But also back to your comment on PSG waking up. Call me biased, but there's a comment saying PSG didn't wake up out of nowhere. They were slept on, and you know what, Slay?
No, because they lost to Liverpool, Atletico, Bayern in the Champions League in their first couple of group stage matches. So, no, I wasn't sleeping on them. I was watching them lose all their games, and they didn't make it into the top 8. They had to claw their way from almost the bottom of that 24, and they changed it around. And I will give them all that credit. But I was not sleeping. I was watching Nua. Come on.
Yeah, I think Lucho was definitely cooking there.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Alex, I told you it's going to happen. The first yellow card is out, and it's for Alaba.
Oh.
And I said cards in Real Madrid and Arsenal. I felt it. It's too much fire. There's too much on the line here. David Alaba getting a yellow card, and there were questions about him and whether or not he should be starting this game, and he absolutely takes Saka out. And Shantelle, we were talking about how we were worried about him being able to defend Saka. And if this is the only way, by going cleats up and a slide tackle here, I think it's going to be a long night for Alaba.
It's going to be a long night for me as well, watching that, because the first leg, I want to say that, yes, we know what Alaba was before injury. Amazing.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
But Saka destroyed him. And if this is his approach, it's not going to get him anywhere.
Yeah, Alex, now that he has this yellow card, do you think that we're going to see a substitution in maybe half time for Fran Garcia, in that you don't want him to be carrying this yellow card and Madrid potentially going down to 10 men? What if there's extra time? You know, the fact that a yellow card is picked up so early it's quite dangerous for Carlo Ancelotti at the moment.
Yeah, and especially given how much Real Madrid will be attacking and how much they have to put themselves forward, there's always that risk that Arsenal catch them on the counter-attack, and we know how good Saka is going forward, and that battle on the left-hand side for him, or the right-hand side for Saka and the left for Alaba. I wouldn't even be surprised if we see a change before half-time.
Wow.
Not out of... I don't think that's an impossibility, if that's even a word.
I don't know.
And
Like Carlo doesn't like to make early changes, so hopefully.
Yeah, that was poor from, oh my goodness, Arsenal on the attack here. Oh my gosh! Arsenal with the chance. Bukayo Saka says, try to foul me and I'm going to take the shot. I think Courtois got hands on it, did brilliantly. Remember, he was the best performer for Real Madrid last week. Let's take a look at this again.
Whoa.
Did Courtois get contact with that? Just wide there from Bukayo Saka. But, I mean, if it wasn't for Courtois last week, Alex, it would have been, 5-6 nil. And he's already been put to the test here. With Real Madrid looking to counter, cleaned up well by Arsenal.
Yeah, I think thanks to Courtois, Real Madrid have got still an uphill battle on their hands today, but one that's doable. It's not impossible, but had it not been Courtois in goal last week, it could have been 5 or 6, like you said, and that would have put the game out of reach for Real Madrid.
Meanwhile, over at the San Siro, it's Federico Di Marco getting the first best shot for either teams here, and Urbig collects it quite well, but Inter are showing that they are not slowing down in this one whatsoever. Oh, it's been about, I don't know about you guys at home, but it feels tense in the building. And Barcelona isn't even playing, guys, but I feel there's some sort of energy. Wow, Gabriel Martinelli on the run here. One-on-one via Asensio, right to Declan Rice, who sends it to Partey.
The advantage played there. A foul on Martinelli from Asensio.
Bukayo, oh jeez, Bukayo Saka, wow, and another shot from the youngster. Well saved by Courtois, but I mean, he absolutely sent Alaba. Alaba trying to stop him, sliding onto the ground here, and this, I mean...
Alaba is no match for this Saka.
Yeah, that's a good advantage given from the ref, though, and that call against Raul Asensio. Alex, we didn't see Bukayo Saka get on the board against Real Madrid in the first leg. And even though he was arguably, you know, one of the most important players in just everything he did for Arsenal, you have to assume that there's such a fire in him to want to also be on the scoreboard. He wants to be one of the ones scoring these goals. And I think the cherry on top was that conversation that one of the journalists had asked him, you know, where do you rank in terms of Mbappe and Vinicius? And I think for him, he's thinking, I want to be the guy who scores and does this now, no?
Yeah, and I think we've all seen how well he's done week in, week out for Arsenal in the Premier League, and he's one of the shining lights in English football and has been performing on the top stage, not just for Arsenal, but for England as well. And I think for him tonight, to score a goal, I think that would be, well, a monumentous achievement for him in his career, and it's such an important night for Arsenal.
Meanwhile, Bayern on the run here. Michael Olise, ooh, was he pushed? I don't think so in the end. Was he offside? Michael Olise getting the ball past the defense here of Inter, but didn't get a good foot on it, and actually it was Bastoni who came and cleaned that up. This game has been very back and forth, by the way. Any of you watching Inter and Bayern, a very exciting match so far as well. All right, Real Madrid looking to do something here in the area of Arsenal. Someone going to take a shot. Wow, Declan Rice says, Rice, Rice, baby. Arsenal, you got to imagine Declan Rice is like the wave of confidence that he must have. Has never scored a free kick goal ever, but scores 2 against Real Madrid in a quarterfinal of the Champions League. Oh, my Arsenal. Oh, my Arsenal.
Apparently, he was banging in free kicks left, right, and centre in the warm-up, so... He's obviously been practicing.
Yeah, prepping for that moment.
Could you do me a favor and see if we could find some... Looks like there's going to be a VAR referee's going to take a look at... I think it was the challenge of Alaba on Saka in the area. I wanted to ask odds for Rice to score a free kick in this game.
Rice to score a free kick.
Come on.
Alaba is going to upset me tonight. I just sense it.
We're just looking here. It wasn't Alaba. I think it's Raul Asensio who's grabbing, and it's really too far for my eyes. But an Arsenal player being dragged down directly in the area.
I don't think that's a penalty. I think it's more the other way around. It looks like the Real Madrid player being dragged. Is that Asensio?
Of course. I need to see it again. There's a potential penalty here. And it's given. Wow. Arsenal are given a penalty. Guys, let's take a look at that one more time. Raul Asensio. Alex, that's the second yellow card for Real Madrid. We're 10 minutes into this match.
Wow.
I'd like to see that again.
2 goals. Great.
Wow.
I need to see it again. I need to see. No, come on. He grabbed him from behind. That's why. Because he pulled him from the opposite side of his back shoulder there. Look, you see that?
Yeah. It's hard to...
from that angle, it was... Okay, here. He's grabbing his shirt, I think, from this area. This is also a really bad angle.
Yeah.
Wow, Rudiger is about... looking a little scary here for Real Madrid, but penalties don't always get converted. But, Alex, who would be stepping up for Arsenal?
Probably Bukayo Saka, you'd think, or Martin Odegaard. I think it would be one of those two.
All right, well,
no, wait,
let's see.
Hold on. Real Madrid defense is already crap, and 2 of their defenders, yellow cards. Isn't that concerning for anyone? Because, like, I'm here, like, this is not looking good.
All right, well, I don't know. Define concerned. And it's going to be Martin Odegaard, the captain of Arsenal. Listen, I told you Carlo Ancelotti was making some mistakes in this lineup, and it's happening right now.
Yeah,
Listen,
literally.
this is even before a penalty goes in. It's 0-0. But, I mean, 2 yellow, it's not
Courtois,
like...
come on. Courtois, you can do this. Let's go.
Well, this
Let's
could be...
keep
Oh, my God, he's
Saka!
giving it to Saka!
Oh, my God.
The scripts have been written. The scripts have been written.
Oh, my God.
Oh, no, Alex,
Saka, I love you, but
Alex,
miss.
I know you're cheering for Real Madrid, but
Saka,
don't
I
you
love
dare
you,
tell me
but
that you
miss.
don't want him to
Saka,
score.
I mean, it would be
love you,
lovely
but
for
miss.
Saka to score in a game
Saka-
like this.
Saka is one of the most lovable footballers in
No,
the world.
literally. I love you, but miss Saka, please.
All right, guys. Well, this could be game-defining. Bukayo Saka stepping up to the spot against Thibaut Courtois.
I can't watch.
Hold your breath.
I literally can't watch. Is it
Wow. On a big night at the
Is it
Bernabeu.
in?
And
Oh,
Saka!
he saved it! Oh, my God!
I thought it went in! I thought it went in! Thibaut Courtois
Best keeper in the world!
saves it against... it's crazy you're a Liverpool fan. Thibaut Courtois
No.
saves
Whoa.
it against Bukayo Saka. Well, I need to see that again because I thought it was going... Oh, no, that's a poor penalty from Saka. But my, oh, my. Thibaut Courtois keeps Real Madrid in this game yet again. Where would Real Madrid be without Courtois? What a save. Incredible. Lucrezia joining us. What are the scenes like? Oh, do they not know?
Do they not know?
Yeah, Sarah, hi, can you hear me? It's so loud in here. Everyone has been screaming. Everyone is happy that Courtois saved the penalty. It's so loud in here right now. I hope you guys can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. It looks,
So
I
loud.
see some Real Madrid
Yeah.
fans that look a little disappointed behind you right now, but they have to be happy that that penalty didn't go in because it was
They're
about to
happy,
be
they're
4-0.
Yes, they're happy. There's a lot of noise, a lot going on here, but a lot of relief as well. People were jumping, screaming, because as you said, 4-0 would have been down for Real Madrid probably.
Did they celebrate when Courtois saved that goal? That penalty, rather?
Yeah. A lot of jumps, screams. Yeah, happiness.
All right, Lucrezia, thank you. We'll join you in a bit. Welcoming to the show a man who hates to see Bukayo Saka missing a penalty. Gary Al Smith joining us from Accra. Gary, it's heartbreaking for Bukayo Saka, but what a save from Thibaut Courtois.
I mean, I think we know that Thibaut Courtois is world class. He's galaxy class. He's intergalactic class.
But I think
We know
any
that.
keeper
We
would
saw
save
from
that,
the first
Gary.
leg.
Yeah, it wasn't a
he's-
good penalty.
I mean, he's proven it again. Even though we have to say, we will look back, hopefully, not after Arsenal has failed to qualify, hopefully not. But what was that penalty again? You know, most of us would say, kick it down the middle or pick a spot and hit it. Why would you want it to be stylistic? But then again, we are pundits, aren't we? If the Panenka had worked, we would have lauded him for having cojones and balls, right? But there we go.
I always hate Panenka penalties. I think if it comes off, yes, you look good, but it's such an unnecessary risk.
But that wasn't a Panenka. He went to the left of him.
But it was a chip, wasn't it?
Yeah, but a Panenka is right
Well,
down the
it was
middle.
a chip.
It doesn't have to be down the middle.
Yes,
could
it
be
does. That's what a
either side.
Panenka is.
No,
It's
but it's-
right down the middle. Panenka's right down the middle.
It's the chip, isn't it?
Okay,
No, it's
okay,
dead.
but Sarah, why would you chip it? I mean,
Gary,
I
this
have
is
not
your
played
team.
professional
Call
football.
him. I don't know. What concerns me is that this isn't the first time Bukayo Saka has issues with penalties, and I don't want this narrative to surround the youngster because we know how brilliant he is.
Yeah.
We were saying, like I was saying earlier before you joined the show, he was the most important player for Arsenal in that first match. Yes, Declan Rice scored those 2 goals, those free kick goals, but it was Saka who had those 2 fouls on him in the area there. All the creation he had in that game. That I hope that this doesn't affect his mentality because we are only 15 minutes into this match, Gary. Does it concern you that this might have triggered Bukayo Saka in a negative way?
Yeah, it concerns me. And I think it should concern all Arsenal fans because, look, this was the dream scenario. Real Madrid wanted the opportunity to bed in the first 10 to 15 minutes. Arsenal wanted the opportunity to put the game to bed in the first 10 to 15 minutes. You get the opportunity, whether you are Arsenal or Real Madrid, you kill it immediately. You disorient the opposition and make sure that you have the advantage. We know Real Madrid. Some of these moments in football could be sliding doors moments. Already, before Arsenal had this penalty shot that was given, we saw just how Real Madrid could be dangerous as first minute, the second minute, and so on. Look, I hope Arsenal have the mental fortitude to come back from this and to keep going and to keep attacking and getting more opportunities. But this definitely is concerning to me as well. And I'm sure you could look, you can see the crowd behind us. We are at a university campus, and I think it's equally split between Arsenal fans and Real Madrid fans. But the disappointment was there, and I could feel it from here.
I can feel it from you myself, Gary.
I was just going to make a point about Real Madrid's attack so far. They seem insistent on crossing the ball in. It never works. Saliba and Kiwior can eat those up all day long. Why do they keep on insisting on putting the ball into a box? For an aerial battle between Mbappe, who's tall, but compared to Saliba, he's never going to win that aerial battle. Why do they seem insistent on putting the ball in the box? Put it in play the ball through the flanks. We've seen that work so well for them in the past.
Gary, are you still confident in your Arsenal side as we almost get to that 20th minute in this the second leg?
I think that the team talk before the game would have been that the team should be getting ready to suffer. We have been given a great opportunity to have gone ahead, but we didn't take it. So we go back to plan A, which is to suffer, because Real Madrid are going to make us suffer. So I don't think that anything should change. Yeah, I don't think anything should change.
A realistic fan here.
Expecting 90 minutes of onslaughts. So if I were Mikel Arteta, I'm telling the boys through the various leaders on the field to tell them, keep going, keep going. They are going to make us suffer, but just keep resilient and make sure that when we get further opportunities, we make them count. That's it.
All right, Gary. Well, we'll check in with you in a bit. Go watch the match and stop sweating.
Can you imagine being in a 3-0 lead and still sweating? This is uncharted territory for me, man. It's incredible.
Incredible scenes.
But I'll see you shortly.
All right, we'll see you soon, Gary. Nua, let's check in with you and get the reaction of that penalty save, the penalty taken. What is everyone on the internet saying? Oh, we can't hear Nua.
Before the penalty was Princess Shar said, Sara, don't worry, we'll be celebrating with Arsenal fans tonight. Madrid is going out. Then we have Sisag Nisa saying, how is Alaba playing over Fran Garcia? Alaba and Lucas will be cooked tonight. Witness is saying Real Madrid are always lucky, but this is not the night. Then we have the after the penalty. And Yvonne Anthony is saying, Yvonne Anthony is saying, I think Clinton cursed Becca. Despicable R. I never believed he was going in. Young Millie said, Saka, man, this is no time for a Panenka. So yes, we do have two different rooms, one before and one after.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a poor penalty. Listen.
Chance here for Mbappe.
It's interesting that.
Wow.
Brilliant defending.
Really, Arsenal are putting up a show. Sorry, just back to that penalty, and I do hate that we're sticking with it, but a crucial point in the game for both teams, Alex, but it really was a bad penalty.
Yeah, it was. You come into a game like this, you have a penalty, you're 3-0 up, you already know that this is going to be a tough night, and you chip it. It just, I don't understand it. It's beggars belief why he chose to go that way. Yes, if it comes off, you look amazing, but there's so much risk involved, and quite often we see those penalties not work. At least if you smash it down the right or down the left and you put it in the bottom corner and the keeper saves it, you can hold your hands up and say, fair enough, the keeper saved it, I couldn't do anything about that. But to chip it when you have a penalty like that in the first 15 minutes of the game is unbelievable.
Yeah.
I just don't get it.
Well, 0-0 at the Santiago Bernabéu. Shantelle, even though it is 0-0, and that was a brilliant save from Courtois, no doubt, but the fact is Lucas Vázquez, Raul Asensio and David Alaba are both carrying yellows at the moment.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm concerned about that because one, Real Madrid defense has not been great since the start. And when you have Asensio with a yellow, Alaba with a yellow, and we have so many more minutes to play, what happens if they get another one? It just end the match. And then the thing is with the left back situation at Real Madrid right now, yes, it would be great if Fran Garcia started over Alaba because that made more sense to me. And he has been playing spectacular this season, I want to say, but at the same time, I'm so used to us having... Okay, let me not say that because I don't want to sound rude. But I'm just used to, you know, that greatness like a Marcelo. So the fact that we're at this stage right now where we don't even have a decent left back, I'm worried. Because Saka, Alaba is no match for Saka. He's going to struggle tonight.
Alaba might have had a little bit of a reprieve, given that Saka's missed that penalty. That might have shot Saka's confidence, and going forward, he might not have the faith to pull off the moves and to take on Alaba. But like you said, it could have the opposite effect, and he could come out and think, I'm going to really prove myself.
Yellow for Rice?
What's this for?
Potential penalty for Real Madrid?
Whoa.
Let's have a...
The way Rice is reacting...
He's like, I swear.
I think he's saying to Bellingham, I don't know, I'm not a lip reader, but I'm pretty sure he said, you know that either I didn't...
He's like, I swear.
Let's take a look here.
He's saying, you know I didn't touch that, or you know...
Kylian Mbappe was on the ground. Let's find out what's happening. I mean, that seems a little bit...
He has got his arm around him.
Yeah, but there's no pushing involved. Mbappe crumbles to the ground. I don't, like, you didn't see this where Raul Asensio, you saw him drag.
But the fact that he's got his arms around him, it doesn't matter whether he's...
Is that a penalty, though?
I think it's... You've seen those penalties given before. I wouldn't be surprised if it gets given. I think if you've got your arms around him, it's a silly mistake to make. You don't need to have your arms around a player. That just creates unnecessary risk, and you're going to look at this, and the referee's potentially now going to give a penalty.
Penalty, let's go.
If you're defending, why have your arms around the forward's body? You don't gain anything, yes.
But naturally, when you're going up against each other, like you could just, there was no intent from Rice, from what I saw. Maybe I need to see another angle, but there was no...
It's not the intent. It's more, you don't need to put your arms around someone. It just creates so much unnecessary risk from his point of view. If you get away with it, the ball will go out for a goal kick or a throw-in or whatever. But if you put your arms around someone's body and you're risking giving away a penalty, it's silly.
Let's take a look at this again because this is a bit flabbergasting to me. Mbappe threw himself on the ground. Mbappe took himself and said, "I'm throwing myself. I'm not gonna." Sorry, we're just waiting for this VAR call. I think Gary's joining us again. Gary, what are your thoughts on this right now? Because I'm a little bit taken aback. We're still waiting for the VAR penalty check, but what are your thoughts on this?
My thoughts are that when you are playing at the Bernabéu in the quarterfinal of the Champions League, you do not allow these decisions.
You have to be careful.
You don't.
I don't think that's
so first of all, I don't care whether it's a penalty or not. My take is the instructions to Arsenal players, you don't allow the refs to be able to make these decisions. Now coming to it, look, we know refs who would give this decision, we know refs who would not give this decision. So it depends on the ref's discretion on the day, and I don't know if the decision has been given from where you are. Is it a final call?
They're still checking it at the moment,
Gary. Is this
Gary.
going to be the longest VAR in history?
Yeah, they're still checking it at the moment.
Who would you want to see take the penalty, though?
How long have they been checking now? 3 minutes?
Yeah, this is a very long VAR check. This is
very, very long VAR check.
Juju is happening, Gary. I feel, it's a bit peculiar that this check is so long.
It shows the seriousness with which everybody is taking the game, I guess. Because nobody wants to take an arbitrary decision. They want to be 100% sure. And that's fine for me. It's a very, very long check.
It is a very long check. I mean, yeah, we're going about 3 minutes now.
We knew this game was going to be tense. We knew that there was going to be controversy. But what a way to begin.
He's going over to the screen.
And you know what that means? If he goes to the screen, it's a penalty.
It's usually a penalty, yeah.
It's going to be a penalty.
Ooh.
Yeah. Penalty or no penalty? Penalty or no penalty?
That's the people.
Penalty or no penalty?
Oh,
I'm getting mixed shouts from the people here.
The referee's now looking at it on the VAR screen.
God, the drama, the build-up, it's a movie.
No, the suspense.
I mean, at this point, give it or don't give it, but it's just...
I don't want you to say I'm an Arsenal fan, but that's a very soft call. I don't want you to say I'm an Arsenal fan, but this was a very soft call. I mean, come on.
Gary, I don't want to say that this is a quarterfinal at the Santiago Bernabéu with Florentino Perez's team playing, but I think any neutral fan in football right now is looking at this decision, looking at how long it's taking, and wondering, is the script written?
No penalty.
And no, it's not, apparently.
Oh.
I think...
No penalty.
Offside.
No.
Ah, that's why they've given it.
Offside.
They've not given it. Mbappe is offside.
All right, Gary, how are your feelings?
Mbappe was
Are you
offside.
relieved? Can you take a breath of fresh air? Oh, let's go over there.
Mbappe was offside. Sarah, the most important thing for me in all this.
Tell me.
The most important thing for me is that Declan Rice not miss the next match. I don't mind about a penalty. I don't mind about a penalty. No, I don't mind.
I do think you made a really good...
Yes, I'm concerned that Declan yellow at the next match. That's my bigger concern.
100%. I do think you made a really good point, though, Gary. If you're Arsenal right now, you need to stay away from the referee, away from any controversial calls, because at the end of the day, 9 out of 10 times they're going to go in favor of Real Madrid, especially at the Bernabeu on a Champions League football night. So I think for Arsenal, that has to be, I mean, they were lucky Mbappe was offside. The Birds, by the way, at the San Siro are great.
Yeah.
I think they're lucky Mbappe was offside, because I'm almost positive that if he wasn't, that would have been given a penalty. So I think that needs to be, just as much as Saka not scoring that goal, that penalty for Real Madrid was a wake-up call, this has to be a wake-up call for Arsenal, because it's not going to go their way that next time.
Wicked. All right, so I'll circle back, and then we come back to you shortly.
All right, deep breath, Gary, deep breath. 15 more minutes in the first half. All right, let's check in with Nua after, Alex, what felt like 5 minutes, really, in that one. Nua, what is everyone saying about this potential penalty, offside, Mbappe, Rice, entire controversy?
Okay, so Markinde commented that is a cynical foul. But he also seems very confident. He's saying that Real Madrid doesn't need penalties to win. So he was like, whatever, we don't need that penalty. But while the penalty was getting checked, actually, most Madrid fans in the comments had only one thought. They were hoping Vinny wouldn't take the penalty.
I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. Poor Vinicius having a few bad penalties here. Yeah, I think, Alex, you were right. It was going to be Mbappe if there is a penalty at any time. It's going to be Mbappe. There's no margin for error.
There was a poll going on earlier who will score the first goal, and Mbappe is actually the winner with 64%. Of course, Vinny with 14%, Mourinho with 10%, and then Rodrigo with 10% also. So Mbappe, everyone is putting their eggs in his basket.
So chance for Inter here. That's Çalhanoğlu outside of the box, but it was just wide. Let's take a look at that again. This game has been very exciting. Bayern dominating a little bit in the possession, but both teams having 3 chances each here, maybe now 4 for Inter. A lot of back and forth, but Alex, if you're Inter, they're sitting pretty on this 0-0 right now, thinking, well, we're going to go for it, but if we don't score and they don't score, that's just fine for us.
I think they'll want a goal just to calm the nerves a little bit, because 1 goal for Bayern, and obviously this tie is level, and we're only half an hour in, so there's still a long way to go, so a goal would do wonders for Inter. And the pace that Bayern Munich possess on the counter-attack, we all know how dangerous they can be, and Arsenal coming forward here. Is there a chance here? Saka.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
No, it's gone through to
He had to go wide there. Thomas Partey asking for it. All right, guys. Half an hour has passed, 0-0, but two very exciting and very back and forth games so far. Shantelle, how's the heart rate?
It's not good. It's not good because, as you can see, Real Madrid has most of the possession, but Arsenal already has 2 shots on target. Real Madrid will have
Still lots of football to be played.
No, that is true, but Real Madrid will have to get it together because clearly Arsenal is not on joke time, and as Clinton said in the preview that...
Well, Arsenal have been defending everything really well.
No,
Exactly, and as Clinton said that Arsenal wasn't going to come and just sit back and let Real Madrid do their thing, and we're seeing that right now.
That silly foul that was from Alaba. He didn't.
Oh my God, get Alaba off!
He doesn't know how to defend Saka, and it shows in his frustration.
Didn't even need to. Saka didn't even have the ball. It was on the halfway line. Why are you barging into him like that? Valverde's right in front of him. A player of his experience should know a lot better than that.
That has to be a sub at halftime. That has to be.
You have to, because you run the risk of him committing another silly foul and getting himself sent off, and then you're down to 10 men, which makes life so much more difficult.
If they go down to 10, it's over. It's over. Wow. And Mbappe with the offsides. Come on. Tonight is not the night for this behavior. And as I said, that Real Madrid collectively as a team, they haven't been the Real Madrid that we used to. And what could potentially save them is that individual brilliance, where if one of them is on, then we could see great things. But I don't think tonight will be that night. Because I want to say maybe that's what Carlo was relying on at this point, but it's not going to happen.
Well, 30 minutes gone, and a stupid foul that was from Rudiger going into Mikel Merino. I don't get what this is about. He didn't have the ball. You're not going to gain anything by doing that.
Bayern. Oh, my God. How is this not going in? Oh, my goodness. Chance. Jan Sommer with the save and, does his best to keep it away from a corner. But there were several chances for Bayern Munich there, ricocheting off many of the Inter defenders. And then finally, Jan Sommer making a big save. Wow. Let's just watch that one more time, because that was very, very close. Bayern to tie that aggregate, and it would all be 0-0 if that was the case. It will be a corner, though, for Bayern before we get that replay. Meanwhile, Martin Odegaard is stepping up to take a free kick here for Arsenal.
Ball in. Is it going to fall?
Oh, my gosh. That seemed a little bit closer. He did well to get his foot on the ball there.
Arsenal playing the perfect way at the moment, and the tactics, the way that they've set up, it's been...
Chance for Bayern one more time, but collected. Sorry, Alex.
They've been thwarting everything that's come their way, and Real haven't been able to break down this Arsenal defence. They've been knocking at the door, but Arsenal have been defending brilliantly so far for these first 35 minutes.
No, they haven't. Alex, question. In the first leg, do you think that Real Madrid probably, I want to say underestimated, or is it that Arsenal had some kind of undervalue to them? Why they didn't?
Because I wouldn't say they underestimated them. I just think the way they set up was completely wrong. I think the tactics they used, they seem insistent on this crossing that Arsenal.
And that could be because they somewhat underestimated what Arsenal was coming with, no?
I don't think it's underestimated. I think it's just tactics, getting the tactics wrong. I think Arsenal, you've got to give them credit. They played well. They defended fantastically. They took their chances. They had 3 chances. They took all 3 of them. They had a few more, but they were clinical. And Real Madrid, going forward, their tactics were wrong. And they got it wrong on the night. They were the second team, and they've admitted that. And I don't think they would have ever come into this game underestimating what Arsenal could bring to the table. But they came into it, I think, perhaps relying on their forwards to do it all on their own, perhaps a little bit too much. It was an opening game in Milan as well. Bayern pushing here for an opener.
Yeah, they've definitely had more chances.
Ooh.
Wow, the athleticism there. Yeah, they've had more chances. Inter have had a few though as well, but we just know how good Inter are defensively. They're cleaning it up.
No. Arsenal defense is so amazing right now. I have to give them credit.
I think we're seeing...
They're clearing everything.
two really good defensive matches right now from Arsenal and Inter. David Raya picking up a yellow for wasting time. What was that about?
There's been bookings all around.
What did I say? How many have there been? Let's take a look. Let's take a look.
I think this is the third one for Arsenal, Real Madrid, Arsenal.
1, 2, 3 over here, and then Inter and.
No, it wouldn't it be 4? Because
Only
Asensio,
one.
Rudiger, Rice. Was Rice booked?
Rice has been
Rice
advertised.
was.
Okay, yeah.
So 3 in this Real Madrid Arsenal match, 1 for Kim and Bayern in Inter and Bayern. Alex, just I know we're talking about Champions League, but I did hear there was a Premier League match on this evening.
Yeah,
4-0?
Newcastle battering Crystal Palace 4-0, and whoa, really putting their stamp on that.
Chance for Inter. Look at that passing. Come on. No, I just want to remind everyone of that first goal from Lautaro Martinez, but it was the flick back from Marcus Thuram that gave them the lead in the Allianz Arena last week, 1-0. The passing between this team was, and we kind of saw a little bit of that there, but I know those aren't the goals, that's not the free kick goals of Declan Rice. They're not the outside screamers, but those goals, I think, are so underappreciated just because every player knowing having the spatial awareness of knowing where your team is really just shows how coordinated and well-connected this team is. And that, for me, is Inter Milan right now. But 0-0 at the San Siro as we inch into the extra time. About 5 minutes of regular time at the San Siro.
Real Madrid is insistent on playing the long ball as well, which gets eaten up every single time by that Arsenal defence. I just don't understand it. They play this long ball forward, it gets headed away. They played so well against City. Yes, City were poor on the night, but the way that they used the channels and they played the ball through the channels so swiftly and the interchanging of positions from the front 3 or 4, it's night and day the difference between that performance and tonight.
Not to cut you, Alex, but I feel like that's why I kept throwing the word underestimate and wrong. In the sense of, how Arsenal plays, and you made a good point that that's easy for them to just clear. So why do they keep playing that tactic?
It's a good question.
Because if you're familiar, because as you said, these are things that they will get rid of immediately. So why would you approach this match with that tactic where you keep on doing the cross? Make it make sense.
You have to give credit to Arsenal. They're defending fantastically.
They are.
City on the night in that playoff were poor. And Real Madrid have to change something if they're going to get a goal, because it's 40 minutes in, it's 0-0. They haven't even come close to scoring. And back to Newcastle, they are now 3rd in the Premier League, 2 points ahead of Nottingham Forest.
Well, in. Now it gets interesting.
4 points ahead of City as well.
Yep. Do they have one game in hand?
No, this is their game
This is their game in hand.
So they are 4 points behind Arsenal, 2 points ahead of Forest, and 4 points ahead of City, 5 points ahead of Chelsea, who are in 6th. A light, soft foul there, but a chance here for Real Madrid. Rudiger looking like he's going to swing in a cross that's going to get headed away by William Saliba.
Both teams getting ready. Bayern stepping up, Real Madrid stepping up for a free kick into the area.
Well, guys, if anybody still believes in Real Madrid, the odds for them to qualify right now is 12 on SportyBet.
What was it before? 6?
Yeah, doubled.
Wow.
So no.
Well, I guess that kind of makes sense.
Madrid.
Chance for Bayern here. No, that was not a well taken free kick. It's just something about, Inter just seem really calm about the fact that they're letting, this is what I mean, they're letting Bayern take all these chances, but they're so defensively sound.
They can't be too calm. They can't rest on their laurels because a goal.
No, but they're still going up.
No, but they're
not sweating.
They can't. They don't want to invite too much pressure on from Bayern, because there comes a point where if you're under pressure for the 90 minutes, that it does sometimes get a little bit too much, no matter how good you are defensively and no matter how experienced you are. There's a referee looking at a possible foul in the area. It's just a scuffle going on. Real Madrid got a corner here. We swung in and punched away by David Raya.
Oh, my God.
You do wonder for Inter, Alex, if we will see the likes of, maybe Augusto getting back into that lineup, or Mehdi Taremi returning from injury, as they're going to still want to score a goal up there, and it might not be the night for Thuram or Lautaro.
No, so far what we've seen, Bayern have been really pressing for this opener. And well, they've got a chance here. Harry Kane. Oh,
It's just that it's that final touch,
yeah.
but that's what I mean. Inter are putting them in the toughest situations, the toughest angles, stepping to them. They're really good.
If I was a betting man, which I am,
I was going to say,
I would put some money on Bayern to score the first goal in this game tonight.
Sure. Well, why don't we find out what that is at Sporty
tell
Bet,
you
shall we? Thank you.
right now. So Bayern to qualify or to win is 2.55. To qualify, they are 3.35.
Bayern to
Find
score
out
first,
the
yeah.
first goal, 2.1.
2.1.
For Bayern Munich to score first. Chance here for Real Madrid from the corner. Goes back out to the left. Here's Mbappe.
Oh my
All in, but Arsenal deal with it.
on the counter.
And Real Madrid break up the counter attack. Just under 3 minutes to go left.
Oh my goodness, Bayern's still in the area of Inter here. 2.1, you said?
2.1.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, I think if it. Wow, that was a tough foul here, and there's going to be another card given. If you guys want to direct your attention to the Bayern match for a moment, because that was very, very rough from Dyer. Real Madrid in the area.
It's another corner here for Real Madrid. Real Madrid keep pushing. That was a rough challenge, that was.
Ridiculous.
Frustrations starting to show here in Milan for Bayern Munich. Ooh.
Wow. All right, Rodrigo back in the corner.
So another corner here for Real Madrid. The ball gets swung in, headed away once again.
Once again.
Stop.
Just say it every time. You put in a high ball, that ball is going to get headed away 100 times.
It's the third corner for Real Madrid. 3 corners for both, but it just seems like they've all been coming from Real Madrid lately. All right, we're into extra time at the San Siro, and in our last minute and a half,
a dodgy clearance there from Arsenal.
They still managed to get there. Let's check in with Nua, though, as we slowly get into halftime here.
So most Real Madrid fans still believe, and that is beautiful, I think. Martin Day says, the first leg, Shantelle, Arsenal scored 2 free kicks, put that to reasoning. Real Madrid have got plenty of chance to score goals and probably win tonight. Then we have Akua Trendy saying, it's just sad that Carlos must go because we need new ideas, new tactics. Then we have a comment that said, only reason I want Arsenal to manage to win is because knowing these people, they would never forgive Saka for missing that penalty.
Oh, I hate that narrative. I really do. I really do feel for the young man. We saw what he went through, Alex, at the Euros in 2021 now, all the way back then. And it's hard for these footballers, you know. There's a lot of pressure on them mentally. It's taxing, and we know what he's been through. So you have to wonder how that's affecting him right now.
You do, and it's never nice to see the sort of reactions that Saka got, especially after that Euro final back in 2021. And we have to remember, like you said, these players are human. They make mistakes. Yes, we can criticise them for the mistake, but there's a line you should not and cannot cross.
Exactly.
And
let's not be
they're human.
so quick to forget what he has contributed so far as well.
I just want to give everyone an update. It's halftime at the San Siro, but 7 minutes of extra time here at the Santiago Bernabéu. So lots of time. Shantelle, sorry. You were talking about Saka.
Oh, no. I was saying that Alex is right. Like, let's not dehumanize him, and let's not be so quick to forget what he has contributed so far. Yes, it's unfortunate that he missed the penalty, and I'm saying that as somebody who loves and supports Saka. But at the same time, maybe that's the fuel. I'm not going to say that it's, you guys mentioned, I think Alex was saying that maybe it could discourage him, but it could do the opposite. Maybe that turn the fire on for him, and then we see something immaculate, impressive.
7 minutes of added time here at the Bernabéu. Ball in.
Oh. What's that, Jude? Trying to do a bicycle kick? We don't have time for you to figure that out.
Send him. Oh, you silly, silly boy. Martinelli, come on. Oh, that was bad football from Martinelli.
No, Jude, please be serious right now.
But it could have been.
No, Arsenal. He knew he wasn't going to get it in time.
There's a lot of desperation right now from Real Madrid. So, I mean, listen, they have to.
Oh, my
and I
God.
think you're seeing it come out in the maybe what Judah's trying to do here with the bicycle. But also, I mean, we've seen some
That was
yellows
a poor
picked up.
attempt.
We've seen some really poor fouls. I think it's the frustration, and it's natural, I think, here. They're oh, my God. Arsenal is really just defending.
Yeah. Do you think that could have been the game plan tonight, though? Just defend, don't let them
No, but
score.
the
Just
thing is,
defend.
they still had chances. I mean, the first,
No, I'm just saying how immaculate they have been. Like, the focus, like, just on the... They're not giving them any breaks.
I just want to leave this on this desk here. This is without Gabriel. Alex, what does that say for Mikel Arteta and the defense right now? Listen, I'm not saying if this game is done, but I'm just saying Gabriel is one of the best players for Arsenal. Like we said, one of the best center backs in football, and this is without him.
Yeah, I think it's obviously you've got to give credit to Arsenal for the way that they've been defending, but this attack from Real Madrid has been so one-dimensional. They've been, I said it a few times, and I'll say it time and time again. They've seemed insistent on this long ball, these high crosses that will get eaten up all day long by William Saliba, and we saw them play so well through the channels against City, but they seem to have abandoned that completely, and I really can't fathom as to why they keep on insisting with this tactic that just does not work. It hasn't worked, and it won't work. No matter how many times you put in a long ball, it's going to get headed away.
Can I say something real quick?
Of
I
course.
saw a comment that really caught my eye. Sorry, Noah, but Sam says, Shantelle, you asked for Saka to miss, and he did. Yes, I did. But what I didn't ask for is for persons to drag him and berate him, because at the end of the day, he's still an amazing player. Yes, he had a very bad penalty that didn't go in, but at the same time, let's not forget who Saka is. Like, don't drag him.
Well, halfway through these 7 long minutes at the Bernabeu, guys. Alex, halftime. What subs are you making if you're Ancelotti?
I'm taking off David Alaba, bringing on Fran Garcia, and I'm gonna go. Who else am I gonna bring on? I'm gonna bring on Brahim Diaz, not at half-time, but I'm going to bring on Brahim Diaz maybe at about the 50 or 60-minute mark for Tchouaméni.
Okay, putting all the eggs into the offensive basket,
Or
if
maybe
you will.
maybe Dani Ceballos instead. One of those two, Brahim Diaz or Dani Ceballos.
But for Tchouaméni, nevertheless?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just to add a bit more attacking, something different in that attack, because at the moment it's been stale, one-dimensional, and they need to change it up if they're going to get any sort of chance at a goal. We're approaching half-time and it's still 0-0.
There's a lot going on over here. Yeah. No way. All right, there's a chance for Arsenal here. Maybe a last-minute. Oh my goodness! Sometimes these angles, when you're watching on television, you're not sure which way it's going. But Thibaut Courtois makes yet another save for Arsenal. So is that his 4th save of the match tonight, including that penalty?
I will tell you now.
If that's Saka, if that first Saka,
Well, it
okay,
could
so
be
that
the
first
fourth,
one he
could be
didn't
the
get.
fourth, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That'll be the
Thibaut
fourth.
Courtois,
And once again-
like,
Once again, he's been the most important player tonight. He's stepping up. Because had it not been for Courtois,
tonight it could have already been like 2-0.
literally.
I'm not saying that
And
that
in
was
the
a good
first leg-
penalty from Saka, but no, I do think most keepers should have had that, though, to be fair.
Yeah. it
But
was
there
a
were
great
other
penalty.
chances from Saka there that they could have had. All right. Well, about a minute left here, and let us know, for all of you watching. We'll check in with Nua in a bit. But if you're Carlo Ancelotti, who are you subbing? Who are you bringing on? And if you're Mikel Arteta, what are you doing?
Alaba
in
has to
this-
go, man.
Oh dear. If you're Mikel Arteta, are you doing Anything to change this Arsenal side, or are you leaving that metronome swinging in peace?
Oh, Saba's warming up.
They're already warming up here at the Bernabeu, and naturally they will. I don't even know if they're going to go into that dressing room. I think they're going to stay on the pitch and just keep warming up, and we're going to see. No, I genuinely think we're going to see subs come on right at the at that 45th minute as it starts. 30 seconds left, more or less here. 0-0 at the Santiago Bernabéu.
Wow.
Arsenal happy to waste time.
Oh my God.
Not to mention Mikel Merino, a makeshift striker at the helm for the Gunners here.
And that's the next thing too. Real Madrid is being battered, and I'm going to use the word battered, against a not fully formed Arsenal.
Yeah. I mean,
so what would have happened?
You can say that Real Madrid has injury issues, but so do Arsenal.
Exactly, so I can't even use that argument.
Well, it is halftime at the Bernabeu, 0-0. Saka taking a penalty, and it was saved by Courtois, but nothing else reporting in this match. 0-0 also at the San Siro, guys. Do we have Gary with us? Is Gary back from halftime? Oh, I hear it. There he is. The man, the myth, the legend. He's halfway to happiness. He knows that. Look at him go. He knows that in 45 minutes he could be doing this again. Setting up in Ghana.
Yeah.
Hi, Gary. You're halfway there, my friend.
Hi, Sarah.
Oh! Gary, so far a brilliant performance from Arsenal. Yes, the hiccup with the penalty and a great save by Courtois. Courtois making 4 massive saves for Real Madrid, but overall, Arsenal absolutely cleaning up any chance Real had in the first half with that defensive line. And we were just saying that's all without Gabriel.
Yep. The second challenge is the second balls. Arsenal have been very quick to the second ball. They have reacted to free kicks, the set pieces, the corners, anything Real Madrid has thrown at them, they have headed it out. They have ensured that nothing is getting close to David Raya. I think, if I'm not mistaken, the statistic is that in the first 45 minutes, Mbappe, Vinicius, and Rodrigo have not had a shot on target, all 3, which is a very positive sign. If I'm Mikel Arteta, I'm showing that statistic to the lads, and I'm telling them, just 45 more minutes of that to go. If you can stop these 3 from shooting, you are halfway there. So yes, despite the hitch, I'm quite happy with the way they have conducted themselves and made sure that nothing is getting through.
Right now, if you're Mikel Arteta, are you looking to make any subs? Are you waiting until that 75th minute maybe? And if you were to bring in a sub, who would you bring in?
You know, I know this may sound controversial to some Arsenal fans, but maybe on 60 minutes, I'll take off Declan Rice. I know. Yes, and I'll explain. 60 minutes is literally an hour gone. You have 30 minutes to go. The last 30 minutes, if 60 minutes and it's 0-0, we go into full haram ball mode, right? Bring on somebody and play haram ball. Like, we don't bother with possession. Why? I am very concerned. I think Declan Rice is one of 3 Arsenal players, key Arsenal players, who can miss the semi-final with a yellow card. Of all the 3, I'll check the list, but I think Declan Rice, from a tactical point of view, is the most important. I absolutely do not want that machine missing that first leg against PSG. Look, remember, the first leg is in the Parc des Princes. We don't want that. We want him available, and so that's the sub I'll make as well.
Fair enough. Okay, Gary, stay with us for a moment. We're just going to check in with Lucrezia, who's at a local bar here in Madrid. Lucrezia, it's 0-0 at halftime. You said there's a lot of Real Madrid fans. How are they responding, knowing that they have 45 minutes to try and turn this tie around?
Yeah, the first half did not go as they expected. It is very hectic and tense in here right now. They were very sad, clearly, that the penalty was not given, and the tension was like building up now that Martinelli was almost about to score, just a couple of minutes ago. But I sense there are some Arsenal fans, because when the penalty was not given, some people celebrated in here. So there are some hidden somewhere.
You're going to have to find them for us if they are there, because we might have to speak to them and see how they're feeling later on as we get closer and closer to that 90th minute, if it stays like this, knowing that obviously we are in Madrid here.
Maybe it's not even Arsenal fans, but maybe some hidden Barcelona fans.
See, the thing is with Barcelona is we're already in the semifinals and we're focusing on that.
Just saying.
Listen,
Could
you have
be.
two teams. You support Liverpool, you support Real Madrid. So, I mean, I'm supporting one team and one team only, and my team is in the semifinal. Also, yeah, that narrative, I mean, like, we gotta focus on, because this Inter, that's looking scary for me right now. That's all I'm thinking about. Gary, are you still with us right now?
Yeah. I've
he's
got
still-
a couple of people to get there.
Yeah, talk to some
unbiased
fans.
opinions, because I'm sure people are tired of my biased opinions. So, hi. Yes. We are actually live at Ghana Communication Technology University, the GCTU, and that's where we are pitching camp. Thanks for hosting us, guys. We love your place. So how did you feel before the match? Let me start from there.
All right. Good evening to the viewers. I got the name ACS organizer. And then before that, right, you know, the tension even before the match was actually crazy, right? To what they played right now, we don't have anything now, but I know, very sure that Real Madrid is going to win this match. It's going to win.
Oh, did you get that? He says he's sure. He knows.
Tell us why.
100%
Tell us why.
sure. Real Madrid is going to qualify. And they're
Why?
going to
Why
win
do you
this
think
match.
so?
Just look at the play. Look at the game play. You can see Arsenal. We know them to be defensive, right? They are doing the same thing. Like we are breaking inside their sector. So you guys don't worry. You see, we were supposed to score that goal. The penalty. The referee after looking at that particular thing.
Oh. Sorry, guys, we seem to have lost our connection, but Shantelle and I were so intrigued to hear this fan
I
sing,
guess we're
"Wow,
watching
Real
two different
Madrid,"
matches.
and We were thinking, what match were you watching, my friend? But I was very curious to hear the analysis. Maybe he'll join us again. What were your thoughts, Alex, on the Declan Rice substitution from Gary?
Potentially see. I don't think he's done anything particularly wrong. I think when you look at the longer this game goes on for Arsenal, I still think they have to keep an attacking outlet.
Yep.
But to be honest, I wouldn't change anything at the moment.
Yeah.
I'd keep it as it is. Yes, I think they're going to have to weather a storm in the second half, and Real Madrid have to make a change in the second half tactically, not just maybe bringing on a few different personnel, but tactically, Real Madrid have been poor, and Arsenal have been there to stop them in every way. And you look at how Arsenal have set up; it's been the perfect first half for them. They've got to continue like they are, and I wouldn't change a single thing if I was Mikel Arteta. Not
yet, definitely not yet. We could potentially maybe see a Leandro Trossard for Mikel Merino in that 75th, 80th if they're trying to push for
just a little bit of a different outlet, maybe.
Yep.
Even Ethan Waneri, just something pacey, just to keep
Just
that
for
Real
fun.
Madrid's defence. No matter how much you're defending, you always want that pace going forward. And if you've got a player that Real Madrid will see and think, we have to keep two men back just to make sure that he doesn't cause us any problems, I think you have to give them that option. And a Leandro Trossard as well could be an option, maybe even a Raheem Sterling. So when you look at what Arsenal have got to do in this second half, just keep going, deal with what Real Madrid throw their way, but they've got to be wary that Real Madrid have got Vinny, Mbappe and Rodrigo, who are all really dangerous when they run at you, but they haven't been running at them.
Exactly.
So they have to be ready for a potential change from Ancelotti tactically.
Do we have Gary back with us?
Well, if anyone is like that guy who says that Real Madrid has been playing the same game as Arsenal and they're putting up a fight, the odds are going up right now on Sporty Bet. For them to qualify, it's 13. So if you're watching 13 odds, so if you're watching the same match as him, go ahead and place that bet.
There you go. I mean, he should at this point. Meanwhile, that extra time that was given for Real Madrid and Arsenal was so long that we already have the Inter and Bayern Munich players coming back onto the pitch at the San Siro for the second half. Now, Alex, regarding this one, we saw Bayern pressing. We saw Inter basically doing what Arsenal was doing, defending it really well. But all of the efforts were coming from Bayern Munich in that second half of the first half here. When would you bring on Serge Gnabry? Because I know you were giving him some light at the beginning of the show. So
I think for now I'd keep it as is. I think this Bayern side have started off this first half really well, and they were the better side, I think it's fair to say, with the attacking opportunities that they had. Maybe as the game goes on, 50 or 60 minutes, bring on Serge Gnabry just to have that little bit of an extra element to that attack. I think I would take off Thomas Müller. I like what Leroy Sané and Michael Olise have done so far. And I think Harry Kane has been dangerous. But if I was to take off one player, I think it would be Thomas Müller.
yeah, fair enough. I mean, we know what comes with age, comes fatigue sometimes. So he's given it everything, but it might be the strategic move here for Vincent Kompany. But that match is now underway. The second half, 0-0 at the San Siro, 2-1 to Inter on aggregate, but I do feel there's a goal coming very soon. Nua, how has halftime been? We know that a lot of these fans are still standing behind Real Madrid. Is it still staying like that? Are they shouting for subs? What's social media saying? Oh, we don't have Nua either. Everyone's leaving us, guys. It's the three of us. Gary's left, Nua's left, Lucrezia left. Well, we'll check back in with Nua shortly. And Alex, if you're Inter, are you making that sub up front for maybe Marcus Thuram or Lautaro Martinez just yet?
Maybe. I think we could see Marko Arnautovic come on. Just a presence, a physical presence up front. We've seen him do it before last year in the Champions League, and to maybe make Bayern second guess when they're going forward that they've got someone like Marko Arnautovic who can be a nuisance going forward and holding up the ball, and just to offer into that outlet perhaps to help hold the ball up and either lay it off to Lautaro Martinez or Marcus Thuram, whoever gets taken off.
I mean, I'm also looking at Augusto coming in for Di Marco. He's been playing brilliantly for Inter and giving him some rest, but also what a super sub that would be for the Nerazzurri. So we'll have to see what Simone Inzaghi will do. Shantelle, can you see this, though, ending 0-0?
Well, if they continue playing like the first half, for sure, but I don't think they will. I do sense a goal coming at
Maybe
some
right
point.
now for Inter Milan.
Oh, close. But no, in the second half, normally the game turns on in the second half. If it's boring in the first half and we don't see any goals, no, the clock is ticking, time is running out. There's a lot on the line because obviously one of these teams, they want to progress. So we might see a goal coming now.
It's kind of where we see all this desperation.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw it from Villa and Dortmund yesterday, Alex. Really, I mean, Villa, especially in those final moments, we saw Marco Asensio, we saw Marcus Rashford. We saw Ian Maatsen at one point as well. There were chances in that last final 5 minutes. You felt the desperation, the need to score. So we could potentially see that here with Bayern Munich if it stays like this, because obviously one goal just means we're heading into extra time.
Yeah. No, I think Bayern have got to come into this and think they've got to push Inter all the way, and they've come out in the second half, obviously, with the chance here going forward. And they played well in the first half. They just need to find that final ball and make sure that they can convert and be clinical, because if they don't take their chances at the end of the night, they'll regret it.
Well, I still have faith in Inter Milan in this one, even though Bayern have been the more dominant team. I still think that Inter, can do it overall. Now we see the players in the tunnel here for Real Madrid. Alex, when we're looking at some of these players, I'm seeing Vinicius, I'm seeing Rodrigo, Rudiger, Fede, and I am seeing David Alaba and Lucas Vazquez both in the tunnel there. We are looking at a Dani Ceballos on the sidelines, but we're not. Is that going to be for Tchouaméni then?
I assume you can't take off Valverde or Bellingham, or they wouldn't, I don't think. It must be, unless...
Wow. Wow, no defensive changes for Carlo Ancelotti, and we're heading into the second half here. When we do get back with Nua, guys, drop us some comments on socials and let us know what you think of this tactical change, or rather lack thereof, from Carlo Ancelotti. No defensive substitutions being made for Real Madrid. It did look like Dani Ceballos is coming on. We're just waiting to get that confirmation for, I guess oh, no, Tchouameni's on the field. No.
Looks like they're holding off for a little bit. Maybe they'll make the change in the 50th or 60th minute.
What are we holding off for, Alex, at this?
It's a good question. It's a good question. I think they have to, if they haven't changed anything tactically going into the second half, I would hate it if the halftime team talk had been, we're pushing them, we've come close, keep going, lads, because they haven't been close. They haven't been pushing them. Arsenal have been sitting there, relaxing, waiting for something different. And Real Madrid have to change it up if they're going to get a goal in the second half.
Yeah, I think so as well. I'm honestly a little bit shocked. And listen, I know we keep saying Real Madrid is that team that in the Champions League they can do this. Carlo Ancelotti with the likes of Vini and Mbappe and Rodrigo, but we have not seen that in the entire first leg against Arsenal. Now we've seen that in the first half, of this. I'm just a bit shocked that there isn't some pragmatism being, used here in this football, unless he had a very life-changing chat with them, and maybe we'll see that now. But I really thought we were going to see Alaba coming off for Fran Garcia.
Yeah, I think especially the way that he's been. I think the way that Saka's taking him on in this first half, and the way that he struggled against Saka, he's got a yellow card as well. The risk that he runs of getting sent off, and it's already an uphill task for Real Madrid to go down to 10 men. That would make it now an impossible.
Oh my God, Bayern have scored, and they caught Inter.
Wow.
Harry Kane gets on the board. 11th goal for him in his Champions League campaign. And Inter's defense were completely flat-footed in this one. Oh my goodness. It is all drawn at the San Siro, 2-2 on aggregate for Inter and Bayern. My, oh my, Harry Kane does it once again. If we can take a look at this replay, Alex, I want you to see this one especially because Inter's defense were completely just dormant. I don't know what happened. I think they thought that there was going to be a foul called here for Çalhanoğlu, but take a look at this. Harry Kane. Sorry, we're just rewatching it here. No one's moving. No one's moving. Darmian, who is so defensively sound. Oh, my.
What?
Yeah, that was really poor.
Finish.
I mean, I think we have to say, though, that was really poor defending from Inter, which sounds like an oxymoron after we've been saying just how good they are defensively. But Harry Kane, inevitable to score for Bayern Munich, it seems. We were talking about him, Shantelle, about how everything comes through this man. And once again, it did. So now 1-0 to Bayern Munich. And this is very interesting, guys, because we have basically 40 minutes of football left here, and it's back to 0-0.
Game on.
Game on.
Chance here for Real Madrid. It's a corner for Real Madrid.
I did say it, because obviously there should have been some changes and we're not seeing it, but Carlo doesn't like to make early changes. And this is a time where we needed to see a change, especially in defense.
Wow.
If he doesn't, they risk getting knocked out of the Champions League.
Does Carlo want to be sacked? Because that's how he's behaving right now. He's not making the right calls and it's costing them. Wow.
The momentum as well is with Bayern. You wouldn't be surprised if they go on and try and get another hit.
If Bayern do go to beat Inter Milan, Alex, where would that rank in terms of upsets in the quarterfinals so far?
So far, it'd be the biggest.
Well, of course.
Obviously, with Arsenal beating Real Madrid up there as well. Maybe upset is the wrong word because Arsenal have been a fantastic team this season, even with the injuries that they've got. Real Madrid haven't been at the pace this year across all competitions. They've still been performing well, but it's not been their best year compared to last season. So, yeah, I think everyone expecting Inter to do well. And the same story last year. They got knocked out by Atletico Madrid when everyone was expecting them to go through. This year, they're drawing 2-2 with just over half an hour to go in the second leg against Bayern Munich at home, considering how strong they've been in the Serie A this season. It makes you think there's something about this Inter team when it comes to these big pressure moments. They haven't come out on top.
Well, I think there's a lot of football to be played here still. So we'll assess shortly. But I do think that Bayern, Bayern being Inter to me it's more shocking than Arsenal beating Real with the way Real's been playing this season, not to mention the first half of that leg alone. I think most people were really certain on Inter and their strength, especially having the second leg at home, especially with Vincent Kompany at the helm for Bayern Munich. And just the inconsistent, like, were we not all sitting here watching Bayern and Celtic? Were you there for that game, Alex?Ere you with us? I was
yes.
with, yeah. Do you remember that game? Like that was, oh my goodness. Erbig having a bit of a step over with the ball there himself, losing it on, oh my God, wow.
Bayern has woken up.
Bayern, that was Inter that almost scored on Erbig. He tried to control the ball and Marcus Thuram was right there.
Did you see that just now?
That was Inter.
No, I'm not talking after that.
Oh.
We've moved past that. Well, I've moved past
on
that.
the attack again.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I was watching the build-up, like...
Thomas Müller has to do better there. With his experience, you've got a shot like that, you don't lean back. It's only going to go up. That feels like an obvious thing to say, but I know he's got the defender to lift it over, but he had time to even take a touch and take it inside, but that was a chance, another chance for Bayern.
All right, well,
the frustration with Real Madrid players right now, wow.
The party went down a little bit easy there.
Ooh. All right, let's check in with Nua because I've heard that she's joined us once again. Nua, we are underway in the second half in both legs here. How has social media reacted?
Yes, so I'm back, and I'm back with a lot of comments. They're very mixed. Of course, we have some fans who still believe, like Daniel, who's like, Madrid will score 3 goals in second half. Remontada is happening. Markande says, Real Madrid scored 5 goals in 45 minutes against Dortmund, so wait for it. But those who don't believe anymore, I see you too. Alex Sugar said Madrid is out. And it's unfortunate because Carlos will get sacked in the morning. Secondly, he will be knocked out tonight. We have a lot of Madrid are out, most likely to receive a red card in the last 20 minutes of the game. Then we have some Arsenal fans who are already thinking ahead, like Witness, who says, predicts Arsenal versus PSG, one deal, and we will cook PSG for sure.
Wow. What a match that will be, though, Arsenal-PSG.
I was just about to ask, because like every Arsenal fan that I've spoken to, they're like, oh, it's going to be an easy one for them. Do you see that?
I don't see it being easy. I think it's going to be a great match for the neutral, if I'm honest. I think that's a great call. Inter have scored! Oh, my goodness! Oh, my goodness. Just when you thought you could rule them out, Lautaro Martinez makes it 1-1. What did I say if someone's going to score? It's going to be the, oh, my God, make it a meme. Make it a meme. Standing in front of the San Siro with a fan and a poster behind him. That was a brilliant shot from the cameraman. But my, oh, my, the captain for Inter does it again, making it 1-1, 3-2 on aggregate here. And, you know, guys, we gave him so much praise before this. We talked about Inter. I said that this guy probably should have a Ballon d'Or at this point. But if there's anyone to call on, Alex, when you are the Nerazzurri, it's Lautaro Martinez.
I think that was just what they needed. I think the nerves had been rising since Bayern equalised and even before, and it was a clinical finish there from Lautaro Martinez. Poor defending from Bayern Munich to not be able to get the ball away. And, well, what was a level game has now got Bayern some more work to do for Bayern Munich if they're going to stay in this one.
Yeah, you have to wonder how this is going to affect Vincent Kompany and the players on the pitch, Shantelle, because they obviously did good in that they scored early on in the second half. That's exactly what they needed, but within 10 minutes, Inter have retaliated.
You know, what did we see at the start of this? The pressure being on Harry Kane. And I was saying that, yeah, he could score, but it's not enough for this Inter team in terms of how they're playing on the attack, even in defense. It's going to take a lot for Bayern to actually walk away with a win.
Yeah. Well, about 30 minutes left in this one. Bayern need another goal without conceding if they want extra time. But really, this. I know it's only 1-1 in this match. It's 0-0 in the other match. But guys, I feel like both of these two matches have been so back and forth, and I've been really enjoying it, if I'm honest. I mean, like, compared to yesterday, we had a lot of goals in yesterday's matches, but I think that even though without the goals, that these two matches, there's an intensity about it. You know that it's a big European night, regardless. Well, chance for Arsenal on the attack here.
Oh my God. This is hard to watch. This is hard to watch.
You wonder when the changes are going to come from Ancelotti. You know, we're about 10 minutes after that the second half has started, and still nothing.
The attack.
Oh,
I've seen nothing different.
Inter on the break again. Oh my God! And that was a massive save. Was that Eric Dyer? Yes, it was.
Goal-saving tackle.
Wow! Inter nearly just scored a second one here. Oh, wow! Take a look at this, guys. Brilliant, because that was right in. He had Erbig beaten all day on that one, and Eric Dyer does very well with that tackle. Meanwhile, Arsenal trying to make something of this, putting the pressure on Real Madrid. Happy to pass the ball around, I would say, as well, though.
They're just really toying with them.
Oh my goodness gracious!
Oh my God!
It's Benjamin Pavard! Wow! Wow! From the set piece, a corner right to the Frenchman's head. And that was creme de la creme if you ever see a set piece. Right.
No, Inter said, oh, you want to play?
Wow. Wow.
Chance here for Real Madrid. That's a good
Oh,
sign.
the fade of your voice, Alan.
It's the ball. I thought it was going far away from Raya, but no.
Oh my goodness. Simone Inzaghi and Inter 2-1 at the San Siro, 4-2. Bayern have a lot of work to do if they want to stay in this one. Brilliant set piece there, brilliant corner, and they made it look easy, if I'm honest. Let's take a look at that one again. I mean, that's your... come on.
That's a poor defense.
That's Kim. That should have...
Kim In-jae again. I've always been critical of Kim In-jae and thought that perhaps his physical presence in the box isn't enough. And if you're letting a player get up like that, unmarked in the box, when you're drawing 1-1 and you need to stay in the tie, you've got to be doing better than that. And if you want to be playing in the top side in the top competitions, you can't be doing that.
Wow. Simone Inzaghi having a bit of a laugh here on the sidelines. But we know Bayern have been hit with injury. Yeah.
Bellingham throwing... Is that Jurriën Timber there being thrown on the floor by Bellingham? Look at that Vinny shot again. It was a comfortable save for David Raya.
So far, the attack for Real Madrid, they have been sleeping.
They've been flat, one-dimensional.
They have Rodrigo, Vinny, Mbappe, and nothing so far.
Goodness gracious.
I'm shocked.
Inter are just so awake right now, man. This passing is something else, and a chance against here. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Inter have definitely woken up. There was another shot here for Darmian, but right to Erbig, and fair enough. And ladies and gentlemen, we will see the first sub being made for Real Madrid, and it's going to be Dani Ceballos.
Rice coming on.
Ooh. Cross swung in there from, well, corner swung in. David Raya having to punch it clear out for another corner. Almost caught at his near post there. Rodrigo going to swing in another corner here. Can it be different? Will Arsenal deal with it? It's being headed away. It looks like Lucas Vazquez is going to take the shot.
Oh, cleared.
Real Madrid's once again not offering anything different in the second half going forward. It's been the same.
I'd like to see these substitutions. We saw Dani Ceballos. Is it just going to be one?
This is not going how I thought it would be going.
I think at this point I would think about
ladies and gentlemen, triple sub.
As well, Endrick.
Endrick.
Looking like he's going to come on. I wouldn't be opposed to putting on someone like Endrick.
No, I'm not.
Oh, are you kidding me?
Oh.
Wow. Wow.
Asensio
asking for the crowd.
Very dull there with a challenge on Lautaro Martinez.
Wow, that through ball from Odegaard. That was silly.
So much for a comeback, Real Madrid. So much.
All right, well, we have a double substitution being made. Leroy Sané and Kim, no surprise, are the players that are coming out for Bayern Munich. And it's Rafael Guerrero and Alex. Serge Gnabry getting in now. We've been calling for him.
For Real Madrid.
They need to add
subs.
bring something else, because I think in the second half, Inter have toughened up a little bit defensively, and well, it's been so far advantage Inter with 4-2 as on the scoreboard, and
all these corners are just
on aggregate. All these corners going
from
straight
both
to the
sides, just
keeper.
right. Okay, Courtois and
Real
Ryan.
Madrid running forward here.
Chance.
Well, it's a ball forward. Well intercepted by Declan Rice.
That I actually thought there was a glimmer for a moment there, and they just read that so well. Goodness gracious, Arsenal.
Alex.
It's almost as if the moments where Real Madrid have been running at the Arsenal defence is where they've been successful, and they've done it 3 times tonight, I think.
Yeah.
What were you going to say, Shantelle?
No, your booking code. Did you say Bayern to score first? Was that one of the things?
No,
Oh.
I said Inter to win,
Okay.
and I want to say I said under 2.5 goals.
I can pull it up for you right now.
I think.
2
off the top of
minutes.
my head.
Because I was like, did Alex have something ticked off already from his betting code?
Oh, I'm sure we all probably do at this point. Alex's booking code that's for the weekend. We have.
I had
don't know where it is.
I had Inter to win and under 3.5 goals.
Okay.
So at the moment, I need
No one to score in that game.
nothing else to happen, and that's
enough.
right. I also need Real Madrid to win 3-0.
Oh, good luck with that one.
And to qualify.
What's Clinton? Clinton has gone for over 2.5 goals. He's just focused on the Real Madrid and Arsenal game. He's gone for over 2.5 goals, home or draw. Martin Odegaard to have 1 shot on target. I don't think he has yet. And both teams to score. So Rodrigo, Lucas Vazquez, and Alaba out for Fran Garcia, Dani Ceballos, and Endrick all coming in. Triple sub being made. So Alex,
Does that
ready?
mean Valverde is moving to right back?
Well, it sure does.
To a back 3, almost just Raul Asensio, Rudiger, and Fran Garcia in a back 3.
It looks like he's gonna move.
If Valverde is moving to right back, it will maybe allow Ceballos and Bellingham to push further forward. But
And that's the thing. I don't think Real Madrid should be in this position where you have to be rotating the players like this.
they don't really have much other option.
Exactly, and that's on them. Wow. Oh, I saw Vinny smiling just now, and I felt triggered. Like, there's no... Vinny, come on. There's nothing to be smiling or laughing at right now.
Well, let's go and check in with Nua and see maybe if there's any reaction, Nua, from some of the fans regarding that triple sub made from Carlo Ancelotti.
Of course, seeing the subs, some comments are being made, especially people are wondering, where is Modric? More and more Madrid fans are jumping the ship, honestly. Goodbye, Real. Try again next year. We are out. Madrid is going to get knocked out. So, yeah, they are sad, and I am sad with them. But a lot of comments are also wondering if Ronaldo at the Santiago Bernabéu is watching the game.
He took his flight back to
leave.
He said, "I'll give you a pep talk. It didn't work. I'm going home."
We haven't seen him in the stands yet, so you would have thought that they would have focused the camera on him. At some point.
But he has a game tomorrow, so maybe it was supposed
Friday.
to be
It's Friday.
It's Friday.
That's what we heard. We did hear it's Friday.
He's Cristiano Ronaldo. He does what he wants.
Because I'm like, maybe he just snuck there and then here's everybody broadcasting it.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any footage, but also I don't know if I'm Ronaldo if I want any footage, because if it doesn't go your way, then that's a bad look for him, and he really cares about his image. I wouldn't be surprised. There's no confirmation if he is there. Nua, sorry, you said something funny just there. You said you were sad that Real Madrid aren't winning, but whoever wins this game is going to play what I thought was your team. So another fraud enters the chat.
Who is that? Whoa. Hold on. Let me clear my name real quick.
Goodness.
No, hold on. My main
I don't
team
wanna
is
see
Liverpool.
My main team,
My main
guys,
team
get
is
her.
Liverpool.
If you have to start with saying, if you have to start by saying
My
No,
main
my
team
main
is
team,
Liverpool, but for
No,
La
yeah.
Liga, I do like Real Madrid.
Fraudulent
Like,
behavior.
support, two different things.
Nah,
Two different
fraudulent.
things.
If you,
Besides
Alex, and
me
I know,
want
but
to
Alex,
see-
you know
Alex
it.
has like 5 teams, and Clinton has like 10.
And he knows it, and I call him out for it, and he respects it, and we have an agreement. But Nua, sorry.
Seeing Real Madrid and PSG would be an amazing game to watch, especially with the context
So you
being
just
given.
you want it for, but it doesn't matter either way. You
For
want
fun,
PSG
for
to go
drama,
through.
for sure.
But I think PSG Arsenal would be a
course.
really good game after what
No,
Arsenal
but
has
with
done
this
here.
Real Madrid squad, I'm not scared. I'm not scared at all. I'm like, yes,
said, "I'm
come
not
to us,
scared."
please.
There's still time. There's still time, guys. And there's
Oh,
oh, jeez Louise.
It's another cross.
Oh, also, Sarah, there's a
Just
comment.
wrap this game up.
Talk to me, Nua.
There's a comment saying, is this the Real Madrid that wants to face Barcelona in the Copa del Rey final?
I need that for
No,
breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
impossible. I don't think so, but anything could happen.
I think there's two ways of looking at that, though, Nua. And I thought about this last night, actually, as all those thoughts were processing through my head. Going to a semifinal, Barcelona still have a lot of matches, are still in 3 competitions. If Real Madrid get knocked out tonight, you know they're going to come with a vengeance for that Copa del Rey final. You know they're pissed at Barca for beating them twice, savagely. So my God! Saka gets his revenge at the Santiago Bernabéu after Thibaut Courtois saves his penalty. And oh my gosh, Arsenal score. It's 4-0 to the Gunners. Oh my God, Gary! Where's the light? He's screaming. He wants to come on. Gary, do the set. Look at the Saka. Look at the Saka. He said it here. He said, I can't hear you. Wow. Oh my goodness. Gary.
Yeah, it's over. It's over for Real Madrid.
Wait, but sorry, for all of those neutral fans out there, I don't care who you are, you have to be happy to see Saka score this goal after that penalty situation. Wow. Oh, Gary's mic is still not working.
Oh.
Well, keep him on the
but
screen. I just want to see his reaction.
You have to be happy for Saka.
Sorry, just really quick. Over Inter, Augusto coming in for DeMarco, Alex. Calling that one. Inter settling in with a super sub. Wow.
Just no one there to defend.
No, sorry. Look at that
was out.
celebration.
Wow.
You compare me to Kylian. You compare me to Vinicius Jr. I missed the penalty. I'm still him. No, I'm really happy for him just because he's been injured. He's gone through a lot in the media. Oh, he's such a good player.
Amazing player.
Yeah, I'm happy it was him out of all players at Arsenal. You know what I mean? Like, I think, like I said, the neutral fan is going to be happy to see Saka do well. Oh, my God, Real Madrid score! Real Madrid score! Real Madrid score! Real Madrid score! It's on!
Wow.
Vinicius Jr. score, and it's 1-1.
Okay, game on.
It's game
This is what we wanted from the first half.
What did I say, 2-2? Okay. Hey, didn't we all have both teams to score? No?
Is that a boom?
No, I had both. I just went over mine. I had both teams to score. Oh, Gary, we missed it. Oh my goodness gracious. Let's take a look at what happened here. It's slip up.
Oh, this is what I expected from minute 1. Okay, not minute 1, but from the first half. Come on.
We really started off really quick. So I think that was a mistake from Saliba. Vinicius Jr. just getting the right foot on it, and David Raya was really off his line in that one, and he was able to get it past 1-1. Saka scores, Real Madrid retaliates. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are back to a 3-0 deficit here. A lot of chaos in 5 minutes for us to be back to where we were, but both teams on the board. Very, very interesting.
I almost lost my voice just now. Saka and Vinny. Oh, this is what we want.
I need to check my booking code again. How's everyone doing? Nua. There was still... I don't know. So
Wow.
I don't think we have anyone right now again, guys. Just going through our booking codes here. Guys, let us know what your thoughts are of those 2 goals back-to-back, Saka and Vinny. Finally, some goals in this game here. Oh, no. Did I say...
I mean, even with that Vinny goal, it's going to be really tough for Real Madrid to come back. I don't see the comeback coming again, guys. Oof. Wow.
There we go. Both teams to score. Both teams to score on both. Okay. So far, so good.
So what are you waiting on for the boom now?
Real Madrid need to win, and I need Vinny to score, but I need Arsenal to go. I mean, not Vinny.
Oh.
For example, if Kylian Mbappe score,
Okay.
it ends 2-1. I'm good because I had Madrid to win this game.
Okay.
And Arsenal to qualify, and I had Lautaro Martinez to score in
Okay.
that one. Both teams to score over 2.5. Wow.
Okay, your booking code is looking good, Sarah. You could literally boom tonight.
2 booms in a row, guys.
That's
Unheard
solid.
of.
You're on a roll, Sarah.
No, we can't. It's too crazy. It's too crazy. Wow, guys, a little bit of chaos in that last 5 minutes here. From both ends of the pitch. It's starting to heat up for sure at the Bernabeu.
My eye just caught a comment. Vinny, it's too late now.
Oh, Bayern! Oh my God! Was it offside? Was it offside? No, I think it's a goal.
so.
Eric Dyer makes up for what was a really terrible. No, it wasn't him. It was Kim. Sorry, it was Kim. But it is a goal for Vincent Kompany's side. Bayern trying to claw their way back here, and take a look at this header, catching Jan Sommer completely off the mark here. No one thought that was going in. That was right on that angle. Brilliant header. Just popped right over the keeper. But now Inter up 4-3 on aggregate. Alex, 1 goal changes this whole game from going into extra time here.
It's getting interesting across both games.
Well.
Bayern well and truly back in this game, 2-2. They will really push. Obviously now Inter can potentially pick them off on the counter-attack as Bayern will be forced to attack. As Arsenal come forward again here, can Arsenal kill off the game and make it 2-1?
Let's check in now. I hear Lucrezia is joining us. Lucrezia, 5 minutes of absolute drama and chaos from one end of the pitch at the Bernabeu to the other. How has everyone been reacting to this?
Well, there's a lot of shouting in here. I've talked to some people that told me 3 goals in 20 minutes. Why not? Like, Real Madrid has done it before. So we'll see if Ancelotti's side will be now able to try make a comeback. We're back to square one, back to 3-goal difference, but we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I mean, was it, Saka scoring that first goal, for those Real Madrid fans, were they just completely silent and thinking, oh
Very
my God,
quiet.
this is over?
Yeah.
And then going from absolute horror to maybe a little bit of hope in just the span of a few minutes?
Yeah, very quiet when Saka scored. It was absolutely nothing. Nobody saying anything. There's one person clapping, I think, not because they're Arsenal fan. I think they said, well, fair play to
Clinton
Saka.
back. I don't want peace, I want problems.
Yeah,
He's
very
left the stadium.
quiet.
He's having a few drinks.
All right, Lucrezia, well, we'll join you in a bit. There's about 20 minutes left in this one, and I'm sure there's still something coming.
Hopefully more action.
Big breath for everyone here. 72nd minute at the Santiago Bernabéu. And I did just see a glimpse of Luka Modric, Alex, coming into this one.
I just don't see what he brings to this game that Real Madrid need to get back into it. Yes, his passing, his forward play is brilliant, but I think they need someone a little bit more pacey. I want to see Brahim Diaz come on, just someone a bit more with a bit more zip in their step. And Modric is a fantastic player. He's one of the best of his generation, but I don't think he's the right player for this sort of situation, especially with so little time. We're just over 15 minutes of normal time to go. They need 3 goals to stay in this. I think, what a goal from Saka that was, making up for his poor penalty that he missed earlier on in the first half. Unbelievable skill to chip that over Thibaut Courtois.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I mean, and you can't fault You can't fault Courtois for this one. I mean, he's really been doing everything for Real Madrid. Shantelle, what are your thoughts on Modric coming into this one? Oh, boy.
Ooh, Mbappe. Is that Mbappe down?
It's Mbappe down.
Oh, God.
And-
I mean, at the starting of the match, you know, we've said that Modric would have the experience. He has done this so many times before, but I don't see Modric turning anything around at this point. Because as I've been saying over and over again, collectively, Real Madrid just has been a miss.
Sorry, just looking at this situation here. What is Mbappe doing? And then he hurts himself doing it.
That, my friend, is what we call acts of desperation.
Yeah, that was really poorly planned from Mbappe, but he will continue, I'm sure of it. I think anyone at this point is staying on no matter what,
Yeah.
leaving it all out on the pitch, fighting for anything left. So we've seen Endrick come in. A chance for Arda Güler. Yeah, this was...
That's the only chance that Real Madrid have had on goal is a mistake from Arsenal.
yeah, like a really poor mistake from Saliba.
Well, Vinny did well to capitalise on it, but...
I mean, maybe
Think about it.
maybe that's what Real Madrid should try to do somehow.
Force mistakes.
Yeah,
from
force
Arsenal.
mistakes
The
from
thing is,
Arsenal
though, they haven't been
in a
making
very
mistakes.
tactical way.
Arsenal have dealt with everything.
They've been
It's
so
not been-
sound. Oh my God, Mehdi Taremi's coming in. Let's go. Let's go.
There's
Let's
not
go.
been a lot thrown Arsenal's way, but whatever has been thrown their way, and Modric has come on here for Mbappe and Raul Asensio heading off, with Modric and Brahim Diaz
on.
coming
Okay.
on. To be honest, I'm not opposed to that change. I think Mbappe's been quiet. He hasn't
Hasn't done
been.
anything.
I don't think he's been too much of a threat for this Arsenal defence, and we've seen Brahim Diaz come on and score some goals in important games.
Very
before,
underrated
so
one, I must say. So let's see if he can have a brilliant night.
Lautaro Martinez coming
Yeah, Lautaro out. Brilliant night for Mehdi Taremi. And I don't know if you guys remember just 2 years ago what he did for Porto in that Champions League run that they had. That potentially, I mean, it's two great goal scorers for Inter. And I think giving Lautaro some rest, considering they have a Coppa Italia match next week against their city rivals, is not such a bad thing. Meanwhile, they play Atalanta just this weekend. So two very tough matches coming up for Inter Milan. All right, Nua, we've had some substitutions for Real Madrid. We've had Endrick come in. Mbappe is out. Brahim is in. It's all kicking off. There, as Alex likes to say, Carlo Ancelotti is throwing the kitchen sink into this match at this point. And what is everyone's reaction to this?
Sarah, let me tell you, the comments are tragic right now. The comment section has become a mourning spot for Real Madrid fans, sadly. We have Miss Jenny saying, let's wait for the last result. Madrid needs this pain. We have to lose to learn. Sometimes from this, they're so relaxed for me. Andy Randani is saying, Real Madrid are not going to come back. It's game over. Then we have Musa El Tumisi saying, well, this is Musa talking. Guys, I know my team this time is still lit. Real Madrid can still come back. So we do have some fans who believe, but we do also have a fan that's coming for Shantelle. Shantelle should not even think about any remontada because it's not going to happen, not in the Santiago Bernabéu.
Okay, I fear that I might agree with you right there. If they continue like this, yes, there's no coming back.
And we also have Alex Sugar, who is furious with Real Madrid. They say they make Arsenal look, they make common Arsenal look like they are a serious team. I think Carlo is tired of his coaching job at Real Madrid. He should humbly leave.
Wow.
Hard words.
A lot to break down there. Some substitutions being made for Bayern Munich in a last-ditch effort here as we're reaching the final 7 minutes at the San Siro. Kingsley Coman and Pavlovic in for Goretzka and Leimer. Alex, could it be that this is the match where we see the remontada?
I mean, this is the one that's looking more likely at the moment. Obviously, Bayern just needing the one goal to level this time, send it to extra time. I think Inter, with the substitutions they've made, they're showing that they're not going to sit down and shut up shop just yet. And, well, Bayern as well. They've got a lot to throw at it still. There's just over 6 or 7 minutes to go. You never know what can happen. This is the Champions League. Arsenal on the attack here. They've got a ball across the box. Oh, and it's fallen.
Oh, my goodness.
I think it was Thomas Partey there with the shot. Real Madrid get the ball cleared.
Wow.
Hendrick that's looking to get on the end of it, but not quite. It's Arsenal stealing it.
Oh.
Good clearance there. I think that was really good on the ball.
Meanwhile, Bayern trying everything here to score as fast as they can. Oh, my goodness. I really enjoyed this game. I know a lot of people are watching Real Madrid and Arsenal, but Inter and Bayern has been a cracker.
It's been really good.
Yeah.
This has been the far better game as well.
We've got to give credit to Bayern for going toe-to-toe with this Inter Milan side. It's a possible foul. Yep, a free kick here for Real Madrid, just on the edge of the area.
I really didn't think he was going to call that. Let's take a look. Fair enough. I don't think he got, from that angle we couldn't see, but I don't think he got the ball.
It looked a little bit soft.
I mean, Vinny made a meal out of it, but they're desperate at this point.
Could this be Real Madrid's chance to score a free kick?
Oh my God, a movie.
Can you imagine?
It could be.
Look at Modric, looking like he's lining up over the free kick.
Declan Rice is praying. He's praying in his whole soul that it doesn't happen.
Real Madrid need a goal in the next 5 minutes, otherwise I think this is over.
Yeah. They need 3 for extra time.
Come on.
Free kick golazo, not even a hope.
That was awful.
That was just misplanned.
You don't have a lot of time as a free kick. They've given them extra time by making the pass and run towards
2 passes.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Bayern here, nope. Ooh la la, we are inching into that 90th minute at the San Siro. Oh, the fans must be shaking at this point.
Well, this is where the tactics of injuries come in.
Oh, need a bit of a stretch here, bit of a stretch.
Oh my God.
Chance there for Real Madrid, but Raya dealing with it quite comfortably.
Who's coming out? Oh, Fratesi, the man who made it 2-1 at the Allianz. Let's go.
It's funny, Real Madrid in the first half were putting in these high balls to Mbappe, who's not the tallest, and they brought on Hendrick, who's
he's short.
He's shorter than Mbappe, and they're still playing in these long balls, and it's still not working. I really don't understand why they're insistent on continuing with this tactic, because it hasn't worked all game long. It's not as if Saliba's going to suddenly let up. As Arsenal come on the attack here, there's a chance for the second here for the Gunners.
Take a shot.
Oh,
yeah, you had to.
Post.
You had to there. Martin Odegaard with a shot.
Honestly, I wish I could have been a fly on the wall to hear what the halftime talk was for Real Madrid, because...
Sounds like it wasn't a whole lot, if I'm honest with you right now.
Because they're playing exactly the same, and if it didn't work in the first half, what do you think is going to happen in the second half?
Barella and Bastoni off for Fratesi and Bisek for Inter Milan. 3 minutes left of regular time. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Because we've had 6 goals in 2 matches so far. There's chance for some more goals here, but we had 9 yesterday. I mean, that's still 6 goals. Is still pretty good.
This has been not quite the remontada that Real Madrid have had.
Very underwhelming.
As they come forward again here. Arsenal to a man, clinging on to these Real Madrid forwards and not letting them, not giving them an inch of space. As Arsenal come on the counter-attack here. Leandro Trossard has been a source of escape for that Arsenal team on the left-hand side. As the referee giving a talking to Harry Kane here. He's grabbed hold of... I assume that's what that was given for. Oh, it's a chance, but it's a block, and it's a corner for Real Madrid. The chances are coming, but the final third and the end product has not been there for Real Madrid so far. That's a potential. They're looking at it's a lovely tackle that was from William Saliba on Vinny. No, it's a goal kick.
Winding down.
Minutes ticking over here in Milan as well. Bayern need to... Real Madrid knocked out of the Champions League by Arsenal. Wow. This has been very underwhelming from Real Madrid.
Very. And I can't stress it enough.
There's nothing left in the tank. There's nothing.
Somebody
just something you see.
said the tires are deflated, and I agree.
I don't know if that's
Real Madrid need a goal before the 85th minute, otherwise this is it.
Bayern Munich have a minute of regular time here to try and squeeze extra time. Desperation for the German side. And if they don't make it, no German teams in the semifinals.
Why?
Why?
Modric trying to do something. So Vinny get the ball across. It's well dealt with by that Arsenal defence. It's another cross. Back to Vinny, and it's gone out for a goal.
Wow. Okay.
Interesting.
Scary keeping there from Urbig and Bayern.
Bayern with one last chance here in normal time. I can't imagine there'll be too many minutes of added time in Milan.
Oh, Serge Gnabry. Oh my goodness.
Ooh, one final chance here for Bayern Munich.
Inter clear that ball away.
Just.
Yeah. 6 minutes of extra time.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, settle in.
Bayern have got a chance.
Oh, we might be here for a long time. Jan Sommer.
Oh.
Wow. Oh la la. Oh, we're getting involved. Oh, Rudiger. Thomas Partey getting a yellow here, but Rudiger seems to be getting in his face. This is where we will see several cards, I think. Been getting a little frustrated, getting a little agitated, people getting in each other's faces. Oh, Rudiger picked up the card. They both picked up a card here.
So everybody, all the defenders have a card. I guess that's the theme.
That's really terrible. That is really terrible.
Misses the next match as well, Thomas Partey.
It's not going to be a the match, is there?
Big blow for Arsenal, that one.
Oh, Thomas Partey.
Yeah, Thomas Partey misses the next.
I heard Rudiger. He also. Yeah, that's. I mean, that's what Gary was talking about regarding Declan Rice.
Yeah.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Five yellow cards in this match so far. Wow. Yeah. So the 3 out of the 4 starting defenders for Real Madrid, Shantelle, picked up a yellow. The only one who didn't was Lucas Vazquez, and that's because he was taken off.
Yeah, I was going to say, maybe that's why. Because he was taken off.
Meanwhile, only Kim and Dyer picking up the yellows in this match for Inter and Bayern Munich, which is a great thing for Inter Milan as they look to be heading into that semi-final.
Been, well, Vinny coming forward here. No, loses the ball. Tries to
get out.
Goes back to...
You got to pass that better, Declan Rice.
Modric here. Real Madrid
praying.
Need to get a goal here.
Yep.
Otherwise, I think that is all she wrote.
And that
Bayern
is it.
coming forward here on the left-hand side as a ball sent across, well defended by Inter Milan. Inter backs against the wall for this last 4 minutes.
Yep. Yeah, it's looking like that. It's a bit scary. Thinking if Bayern just keep pressing, maybe something will go in.
If Bayern do, and this is, I think, a long way to go, but if Bayern do knock out Inter, do we all need to give Vincent Kompany an apology?
No. I don't.
Is this more on Simone Inzaghi? Because last year, of course, getting knocked out by Atletico Madrid, and obviously they're going through at the moment as this stands. That's a silly foul there.
See, I wouldn't say that it's about Vincent Kompany because you don't know what Bayern Munich you're going to get on the day.
No, but
so,
on the flip side of that, does that mean that we should be looking at Simone Inzaghi, and this is all hearsay now because they're going through, but if they don't go through, there's something, we've got to be some criticism towards Simone Inzaghi?
Shall we save it for
if it does
3
happen,
minutes?
Yeah.
Let's not get into the theoretical just yet. We'll have a conversation. We'll decide if we need to write a letter. Okay, well, 2 minutes left of extra time at the San Siro. Meanwhile, at the Bernabéu, we are 2 minutes away from the 90th, but I expect there will be some extra time added on here. Meanwhile, I would like to see Gary probably screaming, singing, dancing, some sort of reaction here. Should keep this on and see what the reaction is at the end of the match.
Last chance here, well, one of the last chances for Bayern Munich. Ball's about to get sent into the box. It's a short pass here.
Yeah.
Oh,
Cross. It gets sent back out.
oh my God, oh my God, no shot, no shot.
Oh.
Oh,
One more
my
cross
goodness.
for Bayern. And it's going to be no, it's cleared away, but Bayern have another chance.
Had that
Headed
away.
away
Take
by
it.
Inter, but no, it's
Inter
back.
just clearing into dead space and Bayern picking up the ball.
This is another chance here for Bayern. Can they get the cross in? No.
Run.
There's a last. So this is
Kingsley Coleman keeping
Backs
that ball
against
in
the
play.
wow.
Desperation
Ball
in the
forward.
champion.
Oh! What a save from Jan Sommer.
Wow.
What
wow,
a
wow,
save.
Wow.
Jan Sommer, the man to the rescue for Inter Milan. Wow.
Let's take a look at that again.
What a save.
Yeah, well done there.
Ball in for Real Madrid. Arsenal get it clear again. It's another cross in.
Was that Harry Kane?
No.
Oh, Manuel Neuer suffering on the sidelines watching this.
I bet he's regretting that celebration now, isn't he?
Oh, my goodness, yeah. Credit to Erbig, though. He's done well, and I'd say a lot of it comes down to more of the defenders on Bayern than the goalkeeper himself.
We've got to give credit to Inter.
Absolutely. Oh, and it's all kicking off at the San Siro. Here we go. Oh, Inter, pick up some cards.
Good
Let's
save
go.
from David Raya, keeping the shot out. I believe that was from Brahim Diaz. Raya screaming at his defenders. You see Danny Carvajal there.
Bit of an issue with Danny Carvajal and Bukayo Saka at half, which we'll get into after this game. But let's take a look. Oh my God! It wasn't Inter. It was Bayern. Unbelievable! Joshua Kimmich pushing a ball boy for holding on to the ball.
Really?
Oh,
Ball
that
across
is
for Real
poor
Madrid.
form.
Chance for Real Madrid. No. Goal kick.
That is poor form from Joshua Kimmich. I get you're frustrated,
yeah, but
that's
you don't
a
take
kid.
it out on the kid.
And obviously, it's an Inter fan. He's working at the San Siro. Like, oh, yeah.
Chance here for
poor
Bayern.
form.
Ooh. Is that corner for Bayern?
I don't think he got his hands on it. Well, that's all she wrote.
Yeah,
Inter Milan will be heading to the semifinals to meet Barcelona. Simone Inzaghi and the Nerazzurri keep Italy alive in this one because not one but two German clubs have exited the Champions League in the quarterfinals. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Brilliant match overall. Okay, well, we'll get into this after Real Madrid and Arsenal because this match still has about 4 minutes left.
Arsenal on the attack here. Leandro Trossard looking to put the final nail in the coffin here. And Real Madrid deal with it. They come forward. Is there going to be a ball forward and a cross in the box that gets headed away by William Saliba? Real Madrid all but out of the Champions League here. They need a goal in the next minute.
Alex, what's that going to do at this point?
Nothing, but...
What, to take some shame out of their eyes?
No. Just if they have any choke, as Arsenal come on the attack here, is a possible shot for Arsenal. It's a lovely save from Thibaut Courtois. Another man who's...
How do you think he's feeling right now?
Probably quite miffed, like the rest of them, I can imagine.
Yeah, but I mean, you can argue one's been putting in work.
Yes, I mean, he's been Real Madrid's best player over the two legs.
Mm-hmm.
There's just under 3 minutes to go here at the Bernabéu. Can Real Madrid pull off a miracle? They need 3 goals in 3 minutes. A goal a minute.
No, if they actually pulled us off, then if I didn't believe in the juju for real, then that would have confirmed it for me.
Do you want to know what the odds are of Arsenal? I'll tell you after Arsenal come on the attack here. Could this be 2-1?
Do it.
Arsenal in the tie.
Wow.
Real Madrid are heading out of the Champions League. Gabriel Martinelli with the goal to make it 5-1 to Arsenal.
Oh, Clinton said 2-1.
2-1 to Arsenal on the night. And that's it. Arsenal are through to the semi-finals of the Champions League.
Wow. Gary, it's confirmed. Gary, we're going to the semifinals. Wow, Gary, talk to me. Arsenal absolutely dominated that performance against Real Madrid.
Just enjoy.
No, get in there and
enjoy
dance.
the scenery.
Get in there and dance.
Now, guess what? I just found that a quarter of the people here are Barcelona fans.
Of course. Well, there you go.
So, but yeah, I mean, we didn't do it easily, but it's been done. For
Gary,
me,
I'm
two
not gonna
things.
lie to you. You did it pretty easily. Arsenal absolutely dominated Real Madrid in 2 legs, and this was a Mikel Arteta masterclass. This was a Mikel Arteta masterclass. I think this is where we saw the tactical difference here from Carlo Ancelotti and Mikel Arteta.
I mean, man wants to be modest. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to blow up on, we didn't make it easy because we missed a penalty or 2 other chances. But importantly, we got the win, we beat them, and also ensured that we dominated this. So for me, that's it. The only are coming. Ole!
Good one, Gary. Gary's going to be partying all night tonight.
There we go. There we go.
The shirts are off in that crowd.
Exactly. Yeah, man.
Wow,
now, I'll tell you
wow.
This guy who was celebrating with me, he's a Real Madrid supporter, but he's won a bet.
No surprise there. No surprise there.
So let's get in and talk to guys.
Wow,
guys,
look at the scenes.
Guys, who wants to talk? Does anybody want to talk? Anybody want to talk?
Hey, where are you going? No, I'd like to hear an angry Real Madrid fan because there's a lot to break down with this game.
No. What were they? Real Madrid fans, are you here? Yeah, let me find one. What happened to the comeback? What happened to the comeback?
Wow. Wow. You can have it.
Come back. They are chanting, come back, come back, come back, come back, come back.
Arsenal fans. Oh, there's going to be no sleep in Accra tonight.
I did not know we were so loud. I didn't know that I ever thought that Arsenal fans would be this loud. But yeah, this is our resident Arsenal fan. He believed from the beginning that Arsenal were just not going to come, but Arsenal will win. So,
you should be giving me a prize by now.
No, you got
Fonzie know they carry last.
You know you got
on this campus, ask everyone. Fonzie know they carry last. I mean, I don't just say things.
Apparently, on this resident octopus.
You feel me? Comes for you, man. Like I said it. There's no way Madrid was going to make a comeback. We've all seen them from the beginning till now. With Barca, they thought they could make it with one goal. You call one goal a comeback? Man, one goal can never be a comeback.
And this is a goal that, to be honest, we even gifted them.
Oh, yes. Oh, it was a lucky goal, actually.
Yeah, no, it wasn't lucky. We gifted it to them.
Console them. Yeah. Makes sense.
For hosting us, nice.
Of course.
I mean, in a beautiful stadium.
Honestly, I'm so happy. Because
we are all sponsored by Emirates, so we have to give them one goal.
They have to give us the final. I mean, if you're able to meet the Q-less, I know we are there for sure.
Oh, you are a Barca fan?
Of course, die hard. I'm a Q-ler, yeah. So if Emirates, you watching me now and Barca makes it to the final, I mean, just to watch the match, you know. I prove to them that even though they made it to the final, don't really. I mean, we don't carry last.
But seriously though, if you look at the way lots of people said that yesterday Barca was out. Do you agree? Or it was just a bad day at the office?
Honestly speaking, we just didn't want to waste energy. We are already there. Oh, wow. Honestly. Because imagine giving someone 4 goals
and it's like you want to add more. Like it's like you are commenting the person. They don't want to end Dortmund's football career. I understand.
Oh, wow.
Like just to give them a win, which will still not qualify them.
You didn't want to end Dortmund's football career.
Not at all, because with this one, trust me, tragedy for them. They wouldn't have think of playing again. Trust me, to be disastrous.
All right.
Yeah. So that's
Thanks. Mark, okay, so this man, no, both of you come. Both of you come.
London is red.
It's red.
We are doing this again. 2006, we did it, and we are doing it again.
No, but 2006, we didn't win.
We didn't win.
Say 2006.
We Real Madrid.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, yes, sir, no.
But we
don't check my handle.
2006 because we didn't win.
No, we are not repeating it. No. History does not repeat everything. It's repeated parts of it. And this time around, I'm telling you that Gunners, we are taking the Champions League.
Early prediction: Arsenal versus PSG. Okay, they are playing first in France.
Yes. I think Partey will be out. So I'm seeing a draw. 2-2.
Partey will be out.
Yes, Partey will be out. He has 2 yellow cards.
Oh, right.
Yellow cards, so he'll be out. I check my X handle. I predicted this game. I predicted last game 3-0. I predicted this game 2-1.
Now we should look for you.
Yes, it is 2-2. This game. Gunners.
And now to a Real Madrid fan. Now this is a Real Madrid fan who is now wearing an Arsenal.
No. I said it in the first half.
He has another shirt underneath, the blue with the collar.
The Gunners was going to win. You understand? I said it in the first half. And then it happened. You understand? Look at Arsenal all the way. Arsenal all the way. Dude. Arsenal all the way.
This is brilliant.
Arsenal all the way. I said it from the beginning that what Madrid, they are not our size. Madrid. Hey, the only team that can beat Arsenal is Barca. Barca is the best team in La Liga, but Madrid, they can't beat us. I said it in the first half.
You swore that Real Madrid was going to win this game.
Me? Yes, you. Are you sure? Yes, you. Are you sure? You. No. This is my first time being on interview. Exactly.
Gary, get it.
No, okay. It was my brother. My brother is a Real Madrid fan.
Your brother is a Real Madrid fan.
Let's go Arsenal.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Sporty TV. You know something? Truth be told, I'm a Barca fan. I'm a Barca fan, right? But I'm supporting Arsenal. But I stake on Real Madrid. You see, it's very complicated. Yes, I'm a Barca fan. I stake on Madrid, but I support the Gunners. You know why? Because I know that Santiago Bernabéu is going to be an easy win, but they will not qualify. At least 1-0, 2-0 is this thing. But I think that people can give me a refund because Sporty, they chop my money. Sporty chop my money, but I'm an Arsenal fan and a Barca fan. So let's go Barca. Barca is winning the Champions League.
Thank you very much.
Right. Is it
Be careful, man. This guy.
I don't understand.
He's basically another version of Clinton.
Guys.
Yes. All right.
Guy.
Yes. Okay.
So, can you explain what happened? Because you were incredibly confident that this was going to be a remontada.
Well, from the beginning it was promising, right? And even in the second half, if you watch the way they were playing the formation, it was promising. But what can I say? We have lost out of the league, so I don't have a problem with that. But I'm just here. Even though I'm also not a Real Madrid fan, but I was rooting for Real Madrid to actually qualify to the next stage. But I am a Chelsea fan.
Yeah, Chelsea fan.
I'm a Chelsea fan.
Very interesting.
Yes.
So what do you think?
What is going on, Gary?
Of I have no idea, Sarah. So now the semifinals are set. Yes. Barca, Inter.
Oof.
Barca, Inter, and PSG, Arsenal. Who is going to the final?
Barca, Inter, PSG, and Arsenal. All right. So my team is out right now. So from statistics, right, and from the match I watched yesterday, from analysis, I think PSG and Barcelona should actually move on to the
PSG versus Barca. Wow, that should be something. Thanks, man.
Thank you so much.
Gary, you didn't like that answer too much, did you? He said, all right, good one, next.
We're done with you.
All right, so, typical, the students have all skedaddled, and we are left to look back on what has been an extraordinary evening of Champions League action. Vincent Kompany I'm not sure what Bayern Munich are going to say about his tenure in charge of his first season, not having qualified for the semi-final of the Champions League. But I would say that company, based on where he's coming from and everything, has overachieved. I don't know what the Bayern board think, but Inter Milan, man, these guys are odds-on absolute favorites. So good, so rugged, so complete to win the UEFA Champions League. For PSG, I don't think anybody will be too upset if they win either, because they've shown a certain kind of maturity we've not seen in the last 10 years since their new owners came into the picture. For my own darling Arsenal, we dare to believe, full stop. I'm not going to make any promises. We dare to believe. We take it one game at a time and face PSG on the 29th. And all we can say is, come on, you Gunners!
Gary, I need to ask you what this means in terms of the history of Arsenal in the Champions League, not going to a semi-final since 2009. I mean, who would have thought?
I think, every time I have spoken just before the start of this season and the start of this season, I have always said, I can't say why I don't want Arteta sacked. There's something about the guy, as infuriating as he can be with his tinkering and everything. I've always felt that there's an X factor about him. I think we've seen it. He just needs to sort out why he can't seem to do the needful when it comes to the league. But with performances like these, look, as an Arsenal fan, I wouldn't mind being second in the Premier League every season and getting a semi-final finish in the Champions League every season. I wouldn't mind that for the next couple of years. I don't think I would mind that at all.
Wow, what it means.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, like I said, this was a Mikel Arteta masterclass over these two legs. And if Arsenal fans, can't recognize that now, I mean, I'm sure after these two legs, they have, Gary. And going up against PSG now, obviously it's in a few weeks' time, but after what you guys did against Real Madrid, are you as confident to go up against PSG, or is this going to be a tougher match for you guys, in your opinion?
Yeah. It's about game management now, I think. I think it's about game management now. And we need to ensure that we keep the injury bug out of the dressing room. We keep the players fit and healthy. And if we can get our preferred starting 11 on that day, on the 29th, I think we'll be in a good place.
Wow. Well, I think it's going to be a great matchup overall, guys. PSG, Arsenal, with the way that Arsenal are playing, with the way that PSG are playing.
PSG's midfield.
They got a bone to pick with you and your guys. Also, we saw Thomas Partey will miss the first leg of that semi-final. Gary, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. So, look, we have to just take it one game at a time. There's no Partey, but we can find somebody who may not be as good a job, but, we'll see what happens.
Gary, before I let you go and absolutely celebrate this evening, because I know you will, talk to me a little bit about Inter and Barca, because this one to me is going to be so difficult. As a Barca fan, I was saying that Inter are probably the worst team for us to play. Watching them this evening solidify just how good they are. And funnily enough, both of these two teams still fighting for the treble, and both of them are still fighting for the league as well. So they're both dealing with that weight management. But how do you see it playing out?
Unlike Arsenal, PSG, who, because of their respective situations in their respective leagues, can afford not to play every game at 100% with the league, these two teams cannot let up at all. Every game in the Champions League and League One and La Liga is a Champions League final on its own. Good luck to them. But I think that of the two games, Barca Inter probably is going to be more blockbuster in terms of sheer quality and watchability. I think so.
All right. Well, listen, I hope you're right about that. But I think this one's going to be such a good matchup. These teams are so gifted, both of them, and they play such different football. So I'm excited to see it. But listen, Gary, we'll let you go. We'll let you get out on the streets. We know you're going to be there. So go enjoy this win, because it's been 16 years since Arsenal has seen the semifinals. So you deserve that.
Come on, you Gunners!
All right, well, Gary L. Smith from Accra joining us. Now let's head to Lucrezia in Madrid. Lucrezia, I'm thinking that might be a very quiet bar now.
Yeah. Hi, Sarah. As you can see, people are already left. They're leaving already. It's very quiet. Honestly, it's the worst place you guys could have sent me to. It was a disastrous night for Real Madrid. The fans are disappointment.
No, I was going to say, Inter are going through. You made a comment about how you wanted an Italian team to stay in. So they're still in, and they look super dangerous.
They do. They're going to face Barca next. So I don't know how you're feeling about that as well.
Yeah, it's going to be so hard. It's going to be so hard, but I think it's going to be also it's going to be a good draw too. I feel like that. I've never expected to hear a Milan fan saying anything about Inter.
I know, but still an Italian representing. I can still, I guess, appreciate that. But we'll see. I think for the final, I honestly see PSG and Inter facing each other. I know maybe
could
you might not agree with this. We will never know. But Barca is also a strong contender.
Arsenal, Barca?
But Arsenal has proven to be a dangerous team as well. So honestly, I think we never know among those four that are left now who can be the champions.
Okay, well, Lucrezia, thank you so much. I'm going to jump to the man that you've all been waiting for, the man that the comments are screaming for right now, the man that has a tear coming down his face at the Santiago Bernabéu in all white, Mr. KlintonCod.
Now, Sarah, what you got to understand is I've pretty much cried just before today. No, listen. If I'm disappointing you already, I'm not crying. Like I said, I've pretty much done the crying prior to today, and I pretty much expected what's just happened. Now, fact is, Real Madrid, I've said it 100 billion times, they are not strong enough to face high teams. As a matter of fact, I'm thinking about the finals for the Copa del Rey already, and I'm hoping that we don't end up having almost the same kind of result that we've just gotten from this Champions League second leg from Arsenal. The second half, like I said, Real Madrid pretty much did put up a fight, but I think it's the final third that has been the problem. The goals have been the problem. A couple of times, Vinicius, he obviously did score, but I still wasn't very much satisfied with the performance. Mbappe, literally all the front three. Jude Bellingham, maybe he did, do a couple of things that made me feel like, okay, there was some kind of hope. But listen, Sarah, I've told you guys in the studio, this is the one time I've not really been very confident with that remontada. Remon did not come, Tada did not come, so I guess we would all have to go home the way we came here.
Clinton, what was the atmosphere like at the Santiago Bernabéu as the game kind of went longer and longer and that remontada seemed to be, getting further and further away from the Madrid fans? Was it, was it quiet? Were people trying to get louder for them? Did you see anyone leave?
I mean, the truth is, the Real Madrid fans are very loyal. I didn't see a lot of them leaving at any point in time. However, the Arsenal fans were the ones that really kind of took my attention because the way they were screaming, I mean, I don't know how many of them were there, but it was almost like they were overshadowing the whole stadium, especially looking at how Arsenal were able to manage, their three-goal lead, as well as obviously scoring 2 goals here. When they had the first goal, it felt like, okay, Real Madrid fans were still screaming. I think this was just around the 70th minute. There was still some level of hope. People felt like remontada was still going to happen. But it got to a point where everybody just went silent, and we were just hearing the Arsenal fans. As a matter of fact, when Real Madrid players were taking some kind of decision that would make me feel like, how come you're getting paid? There are some things that me, who is not a professional footballer, these are not the kind of mistakes. This is not the mentality I would have. A team who are trying to win, who are trying to start having goals, at some part of the game or at particular minutes of the game. It felt like they were dragging their feet, they were kind of sluggish. Sometimes, when you saw them going to do some throw-ins, it didn't feel like they were acting as if they were leading. But that was not the mentality I was expecting to see from this Real Madrid, which totally explains why they are not going forward in the next stage of this Champions League. If not for Courtois, Sara, I think some fans from Real Madrid will be denouncing their fanship of the club.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, listen, Courtois bailed Real Madrid out yet again in this leg, but I need to be very honest, and I love the fact that, Clinton, you're acknowledging this too, because Alex, I know everyone was talking about Real Madrid and the Champions League and what that means, and we've seen that, but I think if you thought that this Real Madrid was going to beat Arsenal by the way they're playing this season, then I would assume you're not watching Real Madrid week in and week out. This is not the same Real Madrid that we've seen time and time again from the Champions League. Carlo Ancelotti is done with this club and has been since this whole season started. There's nothing more I think he can give. You know, when the time runs out between a manager and a team. And that has been so prevalent with his decision-making. Shantelle, we saw it today. How are you starting Alaba and Vasquez? What are you doing bringing Modric into this game? There are so many poor decisions that have been made by Carlo Ancelotti. You're struggling against, teams like Leganés, losing to Espanyol, getting pumped by Barcelona twice. There was never a chance this year that Arsenal was going to lose to this Real Madrid with the way that Arsenal were playing. And I think you have to give credit to Mikel Arteta, because this was, like I keep saying it, a tactical masterclass. They have just as many injuries as Real Madrid. But I think that, all of this, as we say, the juju here, there wasn't anything left with this Madrid team. If you've been watching them this season, then I refuse to believe that you guys thought that they were going to have luck on their side this time, because I think luck also comes with teams that are playing consistently, playing well. You could say that with Barcelona against Leganés. They were lucky, but Barcelona has also been performing this season. I think the two go hand in hand. And right now, Real Madrid doesn't have that. And Clinton, you called it earlier, but you also didn't see that happening.
No, definitely, Sarah. I can't count how many times I had to try to tell Real Madrid fans not to expect too much. You've literally said it, and this is something we've said in the studio like billions of times. Remontada, of course, it does exist, but it does exist for teams who are ready to make it exist. This current Real Madrid, from the start of this season, we've said it a billion times, they are not the Real Madrid we used to know. Everything is pretty much, I don't know, there's some quality that we don't see in this Real Madrid. You've mentioned it, they struggled against little teams, and there is no way you will see an Arsenal who are currently playing in the best league in the world, currently second in the Premier League, and you think that a Real Madrid who is struggling to beat random teams in the La Liga would then beat one of the best teams in the Premier League. It's not possible. As a matter of fact, we should give extreme credit to Arteta, because in all honest opinion, Arteta was able to manage this game just the way a standard, professional, proper manager would manage a game. You are 3-0 leading in from the first leg. What can you do? Defend. If there's any opportunity, counter and score. And that's exactly what Arsenal has done today. Real Madrid. Listen, Sarah. I just. You've literally mentioned it. I think Ancelotti is done with the club. They just need to find somebody who's going to turn things around. Maybe the players, revamp them. There's just something that's not working. These guys are not ready to play for the club. This club is bigger than the manner of players that we see currently. And there is no way they were going to come here and beat this current beast mode Arsenal. This Arsenal, come on, man. I am extremely disappointed. I am gutted. I am angry to know that Real Madrid have gone to the Emirates. They've lost woefully. Emirates have come to the Bernabéu. And when you think about how much everybody kept on talking about this return leg, the way we're all screaming, remontada, remontado, rebada, rebudo, recaba, listen, I just knew that all of this stuff were just based on, just talking. It's not about talking. It's not about trying to infuse fear. It's not about closing the lead of the Bernabeu Stadium. It's not about, putting some kind of graffiti anywhere. It's about playing pure football. It's about playing good football. Put these players together. You have Mbappe, Rodrigo. You have Vinicius. Bruh, why? Listen. I think I need to hold myself at this point.
Clinton, you're waiting for some players there. Are you hoping to specifically speak to maybe any Arsenal players?
No, absolutely. I think if I'm able to get somebody from Arsenal, pretty much they will speak English. I'm hoping they don't send, any Arsenal players to speak English. So we should be having a couple of them. I will be asking them some really, maybe not tough questions that's going to make them happy, because they've pretty much done what is expected of them. Everybody pretty much thought that Arsenal had no chance over Real Madrid, but, they've done quite the opposite. So, hopefully they would come here at any point, maybe the next 2, 3, 4 minutes. And yeah, let's see.
All right, Clinton. Well, we will let you go. But if you do see the young man, Saka, do give him a big hug from Sporty TV and tell him to keep his head up, because we know how difficult and just heartless the media can be. So, yeah. And maybe you'll see your African brother,
he's my
Thomas
Nigerian. He's my
Partey.
Nigerian. Well, I mean, Saka is my Nigerian brother, first of all, in case you don't know. I think I'll be hugging a Saka before Thomas Partey. Because I have to. Well, I mean, you are absolutely right. I mean, maybe this is one of the questions I'm going to be asking him today. Why do you not play for our country, my dear Bukayo
Yeah, that's actually a great
Saka?
one. All right, well, let us know what he says, Clinton. But, yeah, good luck with those players out there.
Absolutely.
And back on the show tomorrow.
Absolutely. Thank you, Sara. See you guys soon.
All right, now before we go, let's head to Nua. Nua, it's been a moment since we checked in with social media. Everything is locked and loaded. Let us know what everyone's saying. How are you feeling? Actually, no. I have a question for you, Nua, because...
Go ahead.
PSG are going to the semifinals. And Shantelle, who is not?
They are. That's a,
No.
that's
The
a fact
narrative
right
has been
there.
written. The narrative has been written. The one time.
See, one of the comments actually was PSG fans are mocking Mbappe in the media.
It's going
PSG
to be
have
a
a
tough
better
week
chance.
for Kylian Mbappe. I'm not going to lie to you. It's
The
gonna
toughest
I'm
week.
dying, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, you left PSG to come to Real
Did
Madrid.
he jinx Real Madrid?
No.
It's the
Did I
entire
drink?
narrative is crazy.
No, Mbappe.
Because
Mbappe, yeah. I mean, this whole time, him and Vinicius Jr., they still can't figure out
Wait,
that
hold
system.
on. Didn't Vinny score after he
There's this one
exited the
interview-
pitch? Isn't that what happened?
Yeah.
Mbappe off, Vinny scores, okay.
Yeah, they can't play well together.
there's this
I
one
mean,
interview going on social media right now. It's when Mbappe in the past said, if I wanted to win the Champions League, I wouldn't say with PSG. That's why I'm saying for the love of the game, blah, blah, blah. And people are taking that out and saying, hey, by the way, you said this, and now PSG is winning the UCL and you're not, so what up? But hey, I hate this narrative because I feel like he chose his dream over work. He always wanted to play for Real Madrid, and I think bigs up to him. I hope that next year would be a better year for him and for Real Madrid. This is
course.
not their year, clearly.
Kylian Mbappe has time at Real Madrid. I just think we know how this narrative is going to go. But, Alex, I think the worst thing for Mbappe in this situation was that he just didn't play well.
No.
Yeah.
You can't say, okay, he fought tooth and nail here. We saw him get on the board. He was irrelevant in these matches. And I think that's going to be a bigger takeaway than, of course, Paris and...
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
zero
I
goals in 4 games is crazy.
Yeah, when you look at his performances, Rodrigo's performance, Vinny's performance, the front line from Real Madrid tonight, the midfield as well, I think when you look at how they performed and the one-dimensional nature of their attack, it was cross after cross after cross after cross to Mbappe, who's not the tallest. And then Hendrik came on and they tried again, who's not even as tall as Mbappe. It's the night and day, the difference between their performance against Man City, where they were playing through the channels, they were playing swift, fluid football.
Can I just add something on that, though? Do you remember what I said? Man City were so bad, though, that game. I think, and now tell me if I'm wrong, with the retrospect we have here, I don't think Real were that good. I think City were horrible that game. We were saying
No, but
that
we didn't say Real Madrid was good that night.
Real Madrid were a lot better against Man City. Yes, City were poor, but Real Madrid were a lot better against Man City than they were against Arsenal. You can only play against who you're against.
Of course.
But you look at the difference in tactics, the way that they played against Man City and the way they played against Arsenal tonight. Courtois even said after the game, we put in lots of crosses, maybe we should have tried something else. He even said Joselu wasn't there. If only he was on the pitch and could have said something to the other players on that pitch. Oh, he was. It beggars belief how you can continue to do that for 90 minutes long and do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result the next time you do it. It's William Saliba had the night of his life. He probably, if Arteta has said to him yesterday, tonight's going to be a little bit easy for you, you're going to go in there, head some balls away. You're probably not going to have loads to deal with. You might even make a mistake, but everyone's going to come out there and say that you played well. He would have laughed his head off. The way that Real Madrid approached this game, they came into this game with the feelings of the remontada, and I don't think anyone watching football thought that this Real Madrid team itself, in terms of quality, had what it took to overturn this lead. It was the feeling that Real Madrid have when it comes to Champions League. No matter how badly they're playing, they always seem to, or quite often seem to be able to pull off these upsets. The quality on the pitch tonight was nowhere near the expectation that was coming into this game tonight. And they have to have a long look at themselves in the mirror tonight and heading into next week, because they've got a tough few weeks coming up. They've got the La Liga title race to fight for. They've got the Copa del Rey final to play next week against Barcelona. And if they carry on playing like they did tonight, things aren't going to go their way.
Yeah, I still think I leave it down to they just haven't been put up against tough enough competition. And go ahead.
No, funny enough, because like it's just playing over and over in my head that you mentioned Joselu. Courtois mentioned him. No? And I was sitting here, and the whole time I was like, where's Joselu right now? Because they're playing like he's on the pitch. That's what I was saying. And I've said it time and time again that Real Madrid as a team this season, they have been poor because collectively they're not clicking. The team is so unbalanced, and tactically they were a mess. And you said it, Alex. In the first half, they kept doing the same thing. They go into the second half with the same tactics and expect to win. There was never going to be a comeback playing like that. But it was just, crazy things happened at the Bernabéu that kept the hope alive, because the history of Real Madrid, the heritage of Real Madrid is that they pull off crazy things. But it was so hard to expect that from this season's team. It's heartbreaking for Real Madrid fans.
All right, well, we do know the semifinals officially. Inter Milan will be facing Barcelona. Meanwhile, PSG and Arsenal go head-to-head in just 2 weeks' time. Guys, we hope that you enjoyed our watch-along once again. We're back tomorrow with our regular sporty show. Thanks to Gary, who's probably partying in the streets already, Lucrezia and Nua, Shantelle, Alex. We're back again tomorrow, same time, same place, because football never sleeps and we have a big weekend ahead. So join us then. Until then, as always, enjoy the football.
Real Madrid. Heartbreak.